Hare Krishna, welcome to this episode of Bhagavad-gītā. So today we will be studying the 25th verse of the 7th chapter of Bhagavad-gītā. The topic is, if God is everywhere, why can't we see Him? So Krishna answers this perfectly in the Bhagavad-gītā in this particular verse. So before we begin, we will say our Mangalacharan prayers and then we will begin it. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So this is the first time we're going live on YouTube. So I hope it will be a smooth experience, and unfortunately my iPad, which I usually show for the screen here, so I forgot to charge it, so it's completely out of battery. So I'm just using the screen here, my laptop screen, so it will be a little small today, the screen segment of it. Alright, so Seven 25, chapter 7, text 25. Let's go to from word to word. Nāhaṁ prakāśaḥ sarvasya yoga-māyā-samāvṛtaḥ mūḍho ajam nābhijānāti loko mām ajam avyayam. Nāhaṁ prakāśaḥ sarvasya yoga-māyā-samāvṛtaḥ mūḍhoyam nābhijānāti loko mām ajam avyayam. Nāhaṁ prakāśaḥ sarvasya yoga-māyā-samāvṛtaḥ mūḍhoyam nābhijānāti loko mām ajam avyayam. So nāhaṁ is na aham, na nor, aham I, prakāśaḥ manifest, sarvasya to everyone, yoga-māyā by internal potency, samāvṛtaḥ covered, mūḍho foolish, ayam these, na not, abhijānāti can understand, lokah persons, mam me, ajam unborn, avyayam, inexhaustible. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I am covered by my internal potency, and therefore they do not know that I am unborn and inexhaustible. So, let's go to the purport. So he is declaring he is never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. So why can't we see him? The short answer is because we are foolish and unintelligent. But that kind of answer is not very satisfying, right? So we need to understand what will make me intelligent then for me to see God. So all that is explained. So let us study this in detail. So purport: it may be argued that since Krishna was visible to everyone when he was present on this earth, how can it be said that he is not manifest to everyone? But actually he was not manifest to everyone. When Krishna was present, there were only a few people who could understand him to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the assembly of Kurus, when Shishupal spoke against Krishna's being elected president of the assembly, Bhishma supported him and proclaimed him to be the Supreme God. Similarly, the Pandavas and a few others knew that he was the Supreme, but not everyone. He was not revealed to the non-devotees and the common man. Therefore, in the Bhagavad-gītā, Krishna says that but for his pure devotees, all men consider him to be like themselves. He was manifest only to his devotees as the reservoir of all pleasure. So in other words, people who are materialistic, they consider Krishna also to be another person like them. Maybe a little better, a little more stronger, powerful, that's all. He was manifest only to his devotees as the reservoir of all pleasure. But to others, to unintelligent non-devotees, he was covered by his internal potency. In the prayers of Kunti in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.8.19, that means Canto 1, Chapter 8, Text 19, it is said that the Lord is covered by the curtain of yoga-māyā, and thus ordinary people cannot understand him. This yoga-māyā curtain is also confirmed in the Ishopanishad, Mantra 15, in which the devotee prays. Okay, before we go to that, let's go to the 1.8.19. Maya javanikācchannam avyayam avyayam na lakshase mūḍha nato natyadharo yatha. So Kunti Devi is speaking to Krishna here. Being beyond the range of limited sense perception, you are the eternally irreproachable factor covered by the curtain of deluding energy. You are invisible to the foolish observer exactly as an actor dressed as a player is not recognized. And if you go to the previous verse, Kunti uvacha namasye purusham tvadyam ishvaram prakrite param alaksham sarvabhutanam antarbhahiravasthitam. This is interesting. Alaksham sarvabhutanam antarbhahiravasthitam. Srimati Kunti said, O Krishna, I offer my obeisances unto you because you are the original personality and are unaffected by the qualities of the material world. You are existing both within and without everything, yet you are invisible to all. And why are you invisible? And that is next verse, just the one we have just read. Maya javanikācchannam ajñādhokṣajam. Adhokṣajam, you see, beyond the range of material conception. Ajñādhokṣajam avyayam nalakshase mūḍha nato natyadharo yatha. You are invisible to the foolish observer, exactly as an actor dressed as a player is not recognized. When one dresses as a character in a drama, Then sometimes if he is very good at his dressing, then other people can't recognize him, although he is right in front of them. They can't know that this is the person. You see? So going back, so in the prayers of Kunti in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that the Lord is covered by the curtain of yoga-māyā, and thus ordinary people cannot understand him. This yoga-māyā curtain is also confirmed in the Ishopanishad, mantra 15, in which the devotee prays, Hiranmayena patrena satyasyapi hitam mukham tattvam poshana pavrano satyadharmaya drishtaye. O my Lord, you are the maintainer of the entire universe, and devotional service to you is the highest religious principle. Therefore, I pray that you will also maintain me. Your transcendental form is covered by the yoga-māyā. The Brahma Jyoti is the covering of the internal potency. May you kindly remove this glowing effulgence that impedes my seeing your Sachidananda Vigraha, as explained in the Brahma Samhita, first verse of the 5th chapter. Your eternal form of bliss and knowledge. So, Ishopanishad also says, please, Krishna, you are so bright, the light that is coming from you is so bright, it's so glaring, that I can't see beyond it and see you, your form. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, in His transcendental form of bliss and knowledge, is covered by the internal potency of the Brahma Jyoti, and the less intelligent impersonalists cannot see the Supreme on this account. Also, in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.7, there is this prayer by Brahma, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, O Super Soul, O Master of all mystery, who can calculate your potency and pastimes in this world? You are always expanding your internal potency, and therefore no one can understand you. Learned scientists and learned scholars can examine the atomic constitution of the material world or even the planets, but still they are unable to calculate your energy and potency, although you are present before them. Again, the same thing. Antar Bahiravasthitam, or Nato Natyadharo Yatha. So, why is Krishna, covering himself like that? Okay, you know what? Okay, let's read this thing. Oh, again. My screen is all messed up now. 1 second. This, okay, 1 second. Yeah, okay, we can continue from here now. So, the iPad has sufficiently charged so that I can let me just get to that again. 7:15. Okay, so now the iPad is here. Alright, so it's not 7:15, 25. So here we are. The Supreme. So again, although Nato Natyadharo Yatha means why he's in front of everyone, just as an actor, he's on the stage right in front of everyone, visible, but people can't recognize him. If he's very good at his makeup and his mannerisms, if he can act in a way that is not at all like his original self, and if he can dress himself in such a way that others can't recognize him, he is a very good actor, right? So, but Krishna is not exactly acting in a different way. But the thing is, we expect Krishna to act like us. And when he is so different from us, we are conditioned. He is completely liberated. His body is Sachidananda. Our body is Asat Achit Nirananda. Not eternal, not full of knowledge, full of ignorance, and full of suffering. So when our body is so different and we expect Krishna to be like this, then we cannot understand him. Just like an actor, when he comes on the stage, if we know that if now we know the person, of course, but we expect the person that we know to act in a certain way, but if he acts in a totally different way, then we can't recognize him. So, and if he makes himself up so differently, we can't recognize him. So similarly, although we do not know him, we expect Krishna to act in a certain way, like us, and therefore we get bewildered. So we will actually study this even more, okay, as we study this verse today. Now I'll just read on. We'll just go to this 10:14:7 that is here. You see, Gunatmanastepi gunan vimatum hitavatirnasya kaishiresya kalena yairva vimitah sukalpair bhupam shavah khemih kadyubhasah. Beautiful. So Brahma is saying to Krishna this thing. In time, learned philosophers or scientists may be able to count all the atoms of the earth, the particles of snow, or perhaps even the shining molecules radiating from the sun, the stars, and other luminaries. But among these learned men, who could possibly count the unlimited transcendental qualities possessed by you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who have descended onto the surface of the earth for the benefit of all living entities? So, Krishna has descended on the earth in front of everyone, but people cannot understand you. They cannot understand. What to speak of understanding Krishna or understanding that this is Krishna? They cannot understand his energies in this material world. So, it is very difficult to understand. So, going back, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, is not only unborn but also avyaya, inexhaustible. His eternal form is bliss and knowledge, and his energies are all inexhaustible. So, that's the end of the purport. Now, this is very, very deep verse. This is a very, very important verse. So, let's understand every single aspect of this. Nāhaṁ prakāśaḥ sarvasya yoga-māyā-samāvṛtaḥ. Avritaḥ means to be covered or to cover. Samāvṛtaḥ means sampurna avrita. Sampurna rupena avrita. Sampurna means completely avrita. So covered, completely covered. So yoga-māyā-samāvṛtaḥ. mūḍho ajam nābhijānāti loko ajam avyayam. So why is God not visible if he is everywhere? The reason is our disqualification. Simple reason is our disqualification. So what is our disqualification and how can we qualify? So there is another qualification. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santah sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti yam shama sundaram achintya gunasvarupam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is Shyam Sundara, Krishna himself, with inconceivable, innumerable attributes, whom the pure devotees see in their heart of hearts with the eye of devotion tinged with the salve of love. Now, see means not once. Sada vilochanena sada vilokayanti. Sada eva hridayeshu vilokayanti. Always they see. It's not that, oh, I saw him and then now I cannot see him. No. Pure devotees always see him. So how is it that in our position we are not at all able to see him, not even for a moment, and they are always able to see? What is the difference? You know, Prabhupada gave this example of a mechanic. Suppose I am driving a car and I don't know how the engine works. I just know how to drive the car, and when we go, suppose it breaks down on the road and I can't move anymore. So I open the bonnet and I try to look at the engine. So I am looking at the engine. I don't understand what is what. I know so many parts are there and everything moving here and there. Not moving, I mean, all the pipes and whatever. So I can't understand what is going on. So when a mechanic comes though, when he sees the same bonnet, I mean the same the engine, he immediately understands, okay, this is thing, okay. He does something and then within 5 minutes, 10 minutes or half an hour, whatever it is, it starts moving. So he was seeing, we were seeing. What was the difference? He was seeing with knowledge. Now, of course, complete knowledge can only be had about Krishna. Complete knowledge about Krishna can only be had if one is in love of Krishna. Because Krishna cannot be captured with any of our senses. And that's why his name is Adhokshaja. Adhaha krita akshaja jnanam iti adhokshaja smritaha. So, adhaha krita akshaja jnanam. I've explained this many times. Akshaja jnanam. Jnanam means knowledge. That is derived from akshaja. Aksha means eyes. And ja means beginning with. Beginning with eyes, all the senses. So with our senses, we cannot understand him. Atah Shri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grahyam indriyaihi. We cannot capture Krishna, we cannot conceive him with our limited material senses. We can't. And Aksha also means, apart from eyes, Aksha means the alphabets. So just like in English we have A, B, C, D all the way to Z, in Sanskrit the alphabets are A, I, E all the way to Ksha. Ksha is the last alphabet in Sanskrit language. So Aksha, the first letter and the last letter of the alphabet of Sanskrit. Ja, that means beginning with all these alphabets. Any word you may construct in Sanskrit, it is just a combination of these words. Just like mathematics, they can be elementary mathematics, intermediate and advanced mathematics, but it's all about 0 to 9, these numbers. That's all. These 10 digits, 0 to 9, are the building blocks of everything that is simple and also complex in mathematics. So similarly, in language, the building blocks are the alphabets. So with alphabets, whatever explanation that can be created, all that will fall short of reaching the Supreme Lord. That is called adhaha. Adhaha means low, below or suppressed, pressed below. Adhaha krita. So it will make everything. So Krishna is a person. Adhokshaja means adhaha krita akshaja jnanam. A person who makes all knowledge derived from sense perception and speculation and explanation of that speculative theories fall short of reaching him. A person who makes all these fall short of reaching him, he is called Adhokshaja. That is the definition of God. God means you can't simply understand him like that. If you can understand him, then you're within, he is within your grasp of understanding. That means he is not infinite. If he is infinite, he should be beyond our grasp of understanding. But then now, if words are all insufficient to understand him, so why are we reading all these words here? So, these words are not created by a person who is this blind person. So when Krishna describes himself, he can manifest himself within even material alphabetical sound. Just like when he comes as Archavatar in the Murti form, in the Vigraha form, what happens? He is Krishna himself, he is not a stone. Then, hey, come on, he's stone, you see, look at him, he's stone. Yes, he can manifest in any of the elements and he can still be the full Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because we can't see him in his original Sachidananda Vigraha, original form, spiritual form. Sachidananda Vigraha means spiritual form. Sat Chit Ananda. Sachidananda is 3 words. Sat Chit Ananda. A spiritual form Spirit and matter, what is the difference? What is the difference between spirit and matter? Na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate satah, ubhayorapi drishtontas, tvanayos tattvadarshiphih. Of the spirit, of the spiritual, there is no. This is chapter 2, text 16 of Bhagavad-gītā. So there it is said, for anything spiritual there is no destruction, and for anything material there is no endurance. It will be destroyed. You see, those who are seers of the truth have concluded that of the non-existent, the material body, there is no endurance, and of the eternal, the soul, there is no change. This they have concluded by studying the nature of both. So there are two things now. Anything that is spirit is eternal. Now, when we talk of spirit, we're not talking about those ghosts and spirits, those kind of spirits, or we're not talking about the alcohol spirit, or we're not talking about the spirit of devotion, or the spirit of motivation, whatever. We're talking about spirit means the soul, spirit, soul, the jivatma or the paramatma. It's all made of the same substance. It's the soul. It is eternal. The quality is the same. So, we are eternal. Our body is temporary, material body. So, material body is temporary and we are eternal. So, that is the difference. So, primarily the point at which modern science is failing is that they do not understand that there is a distinction of two things, the eternal and the temporary. We are identifying, we being eternal, now we are identifying ourselves to be this body which is temporary. And when the body is is reaching death, we get frantic. Because, why we should get frantic? Because it is very unnatural for us. It is against our nature to die. But we are thinking, that we are dying. Sorry. So we are thinking that we are dying. So with that time, what happens? We get this panic attack. We go to doctor, we go to, all kinds of second opinion, third opinion, whatever, just to get some assurance that we will live. The instinct to survive stems from the natural eternity of the soul, eternality of the soul. Because if our nature was to die, we would happily accept it. For example, our nature, it is said in the Vedanta Sutra, Anandamayo-bhyasat. We want, our natural state is to be always happy. Anandamayo-bhyasat. So, anything that brings us happiness is pleasurable. Anything that brings us distress is not pleasurable. We tend to push back against it. We would tend to resist that which brings us misery. Because we are by nature happy, supposed to be happy. The only reason why we are miserable is we are misidentifying ourselves. Thinking, just like if I think I am this cloth that I am wearing, now this cloth is moving wherever I am going, this cloth is moving. Just because it is moving does not mean that it is alive. Moving does not mean, the car is moving but it's not alive. It is moving, but although it's not alive, there is a reason why it is moving. The driver is moving it. When the driver does not move, the driver turns off the engine, it does not move. So its movement is depending on the living person. So on its own it cannot move. So now this has to be understood, this distinction of these two energies. So once you understand that, now Satchidananda Vigraha means Sat, Chit, Ananda, 3 words. Sat means truth. Truth that is not fading away at any time. Truth that does not fade with time or space or thought. No. So truth means always factual, no matter what, stands the test of time. So Sat means actually eternal, eternity, Sat. And Chit means what? Knowledge. And Ananda means what? Bliss. Sat Chit Ananda. So the spiritual body of Krishna and of the soul that we are is Satchidananda. Satchidananda. So eternity, bliss and knowledge. That is what we are actually composed of. But now we are trapped in a body that is Asat, Achit and Nirananda. Complete opposite. This is the difference between spiritual and material. Complete opposite. So it's Asat. It is not permanent, not eternal, temporary. Achit. It's not at all full of knowledge. It's full of ignorance. The body is full of ignorance. Firstly, we don't even understand what is in our body. We don't know. Unless we really study some, medicine or something, biology, then we'll get some idea. Not even completely. And because of the body, the other ignorance about the body is, because of the body, being trapped in this body, we are so bewildered now that we accept this body to be ourself. Although we say this is my body, it is, I am an Indian. We say I am an Indian. No, this body was born in India. Body may be Indian, but I am not the body. So I am not Indian. The soul is not Indian. The soul is not Chinese. The soul is not American. The soul is not not a dog or a cat. The soul has no identity like this. It's beyond. Just like if I am driving a Toyota car, I am not a Japanese just because Toyota company is Japanese. So if my body is made in India, I am not Indian. If my body is made in China, I am not Chinese. So that's the first thing we have to understand, what we are. So when we understand what we are, and God is also of the same quality but in infinite quantity. So Asat, Achit, Nirananda. So Krishna has his body which is Satchidananda, but we are unable to see him because our senses fall short. Adhokshaja. What is that? Atah Shri Krishna Namadi na bhavet grahyam indriyaihi. We cannot capture the Lord with our senses. So how? Then he is eternally, not reachable then. But the Lord is so kind that he wants to make himself reachable to us. And therefore he manifests himself in forms that we can see or we can perceive with our senses. So with our eyes we can see the Lord, the Archa Vigraha. So we can our eyes are very dull. So we can see stone, wood, water or metal or something like this. So or paint. So he agrees to manifest himself in such form just to give us access to him. Just to give us access to him. And he also incarnates in the form of a book, say Bhagavad-gītā. The pages of the Bhagavad-gītā are made of matter, right? Some paper. But why is it spiritual? How is it eternal? No, these pages are not eternal. No. The knowledge contained in those pages is eternal. So he can incarnate himself in sound form through his teachings or through his book form. Same thing. So he can incarnate and he can come himself in the form of his name. Kalikale Nāmarupe Krishna Avatar. Nāmarupe Krishna Avatar. Krishna Avatar means what? When he descends into this material world from a higher place, spiritual. When somebody descends from a higher place to a lower place, it is called Avataranam. Avataranam means descent. Ataranam means ascent. Like when I learned music theory, the harmonium. Sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa sa ni dha pa ma ga ri sa. So sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa. So this is ascending. So that is aroha pantha, not pantha, arohana. And sa ni dha pa ma ga ri sa. This is descending. This is avarohana. This is in music also. So aroha pantha, avaroha pantha. So the knowledge also, to understand something, the modern scientist's method is aroha pantha, ascending process of knowledge. That means with my senses I will understand this much, Okay, I have understood a little bit about my surroundings. Now I will make use of what I understood, make some tools out of it, and then increase my understanding of my surroundings. Maybe make some instruments like, telescope, microscope, whatever, many instruments, sonar or radar or whatever. I expand my knowledge of my surroundings more and more, more and more. I try to increase my sphere of knowledge. So this is ascending process. We have something, and with that we try to understand more and then more and more and more, in the hope that one day we will understand everything. This is called Aroha Pantha. Pantha means path. Aroha Pantha, ascending path of knowledge. Now, that is the modern scientific method. And as we will understand soon, that it is actually not very scientific method. It is a very defective method. So, the word science means to know. To know is science. Knowing is different from perception. We may perceive it in one way, but knowing is something else. For example, I see the sun as a small bright spot in the sky. I can't come to the conclusion that it is a small bright spot in the sky. No. It is a huge planet, huge body of mass that is emitting millions of degrees of heat, and that is very far away from me, and that's why I see it as small. So that is to know. But when I perceive it, I am not basing my understanding on my perception. If I say, if a grown adult, he says, sun is a spot in the sky, it's a bright spot, 1 millimeter maybe in diameter. Because I measure like this, 1 millimeter, okay, 1 millimeter. So that's not how it is understood, right? He'll be considered a fool. So perception is not equal to knowing. So knowing, then how did we know that the sun is so big? Did I measure? Did I go and measure how big is the sun and how far is the sun? No, I am taking knowledge from authoritative sources. From science textbooks we have to learn something, but how did they calculate? There is so much ambiguity. Whereas even if we perceive in certain way, we can be so defective, right? Just now the sun, the example, it's very defective perception. How can we say that it is so small? And when we see the spoon in a glass half filled with water, if we dip the spoon, then it looks bent, although it is straight. So I can't come to the conclusion that it is bent. When I understand a principle called refraction of light, then I understand, this is actually not bent, it is bending of light. So it is appearing bent to me. So my perception is different from reality. So how do we understand reality then without this defect of perception? That is called Avaroha Pantha, the descending process of knowledge. So there Krishna, the perfect source of knowledge, because he has created everything, explains himself, explains his energies. And when he explains that and we just accept it, that is perfect knowledge. Just like we had parents. We never knew who our father was. There is no way to know who our father was. How did we know who our father was? Through our mother. Only our mother would know who the father is. Right? So, we have to accept her word. Of course, in rare circumstances, there is a requirement of a DNA test and all that. But who checks with DNA? Did you check with DNA whether this is your father and mother? No. On faith, you accept it. So we have to accept on faith the authoritative source. So in this case, the mother is authoritative. She knows because she has seen who is the father. So she knows. She can tell for certain this is the father. Now, similarly, Krishna himself, who knows, who has created everything, when he explains it himself, then we can know. Or a person who has seen Krishna, when he explains it, then we will know. Tattvavit. Tattvavit means those who have seen the truth. Not just, those who are speculating about it, those who are, conjecturing about it. No. Those who have seen the truth. Darshina. So, Such people, seers, how do they see God? Well, that's where we want to get to, right? So, the path. So, we have to understand this all very intricately. So, let's see here. In the purport, Prabhupada mentioned an important point in the first paragraph. Even when Krishna was here 5,000 years ago, when he manifested in front of everyone, but only Bhishma could understand, the Pandavas could understand, Kunti Devi could understand, and a few others. Not everybody understood. Even Nanda and Yashoda did not understand. Although that is a different level of not understanding. Because Krishna did not want them to understand he is God, because then they will become all reverential and all, and with folded hand. No, he wants somebody to, scold him, and somebody to care for him, somebody to, take care of him. So, there's a different rasa mood. So for that reason he made Mother Yashoda forget. But the vast majority of people, even when Krishna was there, did not understand he was God. So only very few people understood. Why? Why did they not understand? The explanation is given here. So Kunti Devi in the 1:8-19, just now we saw that, right? Now we will go into detail of this verse and the previous verse. Now let's go to the previous verse. Kunti uvacha namasya purusham tvadyam ishvaram prakritehe param alaksham sarvabhutanam antar bahiravasthitam. You are everywhere, inside and outside of everything, still people can't see you. You see, O Krishna, I offer my obeisances unto you because you are the original personality and are unaffected by the qualities of the material world. You are existing both within and without everything, yet you are invisible to all. Now, purport. Srimati Kunti Devi was quite aware that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, although he was playing the part of her nephew. Such an enlightened lady could not commit a mistake by offering obeisances unto her nephew. Krishna is an aunt. She was an aunt of Krishna, Kunti Devi. So why would an aunt, bow down to her nephew? No, of course. Then she understands that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Therefore, she addressed him as the original Purusha. Purusham tu adyam, Adi Purusham. Therefore, she addressed him as the original Purusha beyond the material cosmos. Although all living entities are also transcendental, they are neither original nor infallible. Fallible means what? They have the tendency to fall down from their position. Like we are supposed to be living in Vaikuntha, our original home with Krishna, in our spiritual body. But we have fallen down from that position and now we are in this material world. Just like a lawful citizen may commit a crime and fall down into a condemned position in a jail, in a prison. So we have fallen down from our status into this prison house of material existence. So that is, we have the tendency of being fallible. Any lawful citizen is fallible. One mistake he can do and he can end up in jail. So that tendency to fall is always there. Just that one has to be alert in order not to fall. So at some point we fell. So we are fallible. We have the tendency. But Krishna is infallible. There's no chance he will fall down. There's no chance of degradation of Krishna. There is chance of degradation of us. And we are degraded already. Otherwise we would not be in this material world. So our degradation was we what is it called? Relinquished our relationship with Krishna. And we fell down. Instead of being a servant of Krishna, a loving devotee of Krishna, we chose to be a competitor of Krishna. Why can't I be the Supreme Lord? I want to be the Lord of all I survey. So with that mood, we have tried to compete with Krishna, and in the Vaikuntha there is no room for such competition. Because we will be envious of the Lord. So he put us somewhere else where we don't see the Lord, and then he makes us, in fact the first time we come into this material world, into the prison house of material world, we come as Brahma, the master of the entire universe. He will give us the whole full power. But we misused that, and we down and down and down we fell until we became a worm in the stool of an animal. That's how badly we fell. So this is fallible nature. Infallible, achyuta means never falls down. So Krishna will never fall down. So when he does things like dancing with his girlfriends, that's not an immorality of Krishna. Oh, Krishna has fallen from his moral principles, you know. Yeah, he was a very strict brahmachari for Sandipani Muni when he was in a Gurukul, and he went with Sudama and brought the firewood and everything, but when he grew a little bit, he became lusty and he danced. No. Yeah? In fact, that whole thing happened after Ras Leela. So anyway, the whole thing is that Krishna never fell down from his moral, That Ras Leela has nothing to do with any immoral boy and girl sexual relationship in this material world. That's totally different. So anyway, coming back to the point, that's a totally different subject matter. It's a very deep subject matter actually. It is the highest rasa in the spiritual world, Ras Leela, that we cannot understand when we compare it with ordinary sex life. No, not at all. So in fact, in the description is that it is different, as different as iron is from gold. It's like no comparison. See? So therefore Kunti Devi addressed him as the original Purusha beyond the material cosmos. Although all living entities are also transcendental, they are neither original nor infallible. The living entities are apt to fall down under the clutches of material nature, but the Lord is never like that. In the Vedas, therefore, he is described as the chief among all living entities. Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetanana. Then again, he is addressed as Ishvara or the controller. The living entities or the demigods like Chandra and Surya are also to some extent Ishvara, but none of them is the supreme Ishvara or the ultimate controller. He is the Parameshvara or the super soul. He is both within and without. Although he was present before Srimati Kunti as her nephew, he was also within her and everyone else. In the Bhagavad-gītā 15.15, chapter 15, text 15, that means, the Lord says, I am situated in everyone's heart, and only due to me one remembers, forgets, and is cognizant, etc. Through all the Vedas, I am to be known because I am the compiler of the Vedas and I am the teacher of the Vedanta. Now you see, Krishna is not somebody like us. No, he is saying I am the compiler of Vedas. Now Vyasadeva compiled the Vedas in writing before that it was existing. Vedo Narayana Sakshat. Let us explain. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 1, Text 40. Vedo Narayana Sakshat. So the Vedas and Narayana are non-different because they came from the breathing of the Lord. The Lord's words and the Lord himself are non-different. So when we read Bhagavad-gītā, the words of Krishna are as potent as when Krishna personally spoke to Arjuna. So when we are reading Bhagavad-gītā, we are actually with Krishna, listening what Krishna is saying. We are listening, we are having a conversation with Krishna when we are reading Bhagavad-gītā. Krishna is speaking to us. People are very anxious. Krishna, please talk to me. God, please talk to me. Hare, I have already spoken. You are not listening. I have spoken all that you need to know. No, that was to Arjuna. No, that is applicable for everyone. And when you read it, is it not the same? Even if he comes now, he will tell the same thing. He is not going to change it. He said to Arjuna, Evam parampara praptam emam rajarsha vidho sa kale neha mahata yogo nashta parantapa. You see, Arjuna, many millions of years ago, I spoke the same thing what I am speaking to you now to sun god on the sun planet. And he passed down to his son, and like that his disciples, like that it was being passed down, but somewhere it got lost, and now there is no trace of it. So the whole succession, the knowledge was lost. So I am again reviving that whole thing. So okay, see, the supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, this Guru Shishya Parampara. That is called disciplic succession, master to disciple, like that. And the saintly kings understood it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken and the science as it is appears to be lost. So what Krishna did? Sa eva ayam mayate adya. Sa eva ayam mayate adya. Yogaha proktaha puratanaha. Bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam hi etaduttamam. So, yoga proktaha puratanaha, the old science which I spoke millions of years ago to the sun god, I am repeating now today, Arjuna. So, even if Krishna comes today in front of you, he is going to repeat the same thing. So, is it not Krishna speaking when we are reading Bhagavad-gītā? Yes, it is. So, that very ancient science of the relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you because you are my devotee as well as my friend, and can therefore understand the transcendental mystery of this science. So, that very ancient science is today told by me to you. So, Krishna is repeating the old science, not something new. Okay, that was old time, no, the old fashion. Now, new fashion, I will teach something new. No such thing. That means it is always changing, means that is not eternal. This knowledge is eternal, just like Krishna is eternal. So, Queen Kunti affirms that the Lord, although both within and without all living entities, is still invisible. The Lord is, so to speak, a puzzle for the common man. Queen Kunti experienced personally that Lord Krishna was present before her, yet he entered within the womb of Uttara to save her embryo from the attack of Ashwathama's Brahmastra. So this is the classic example. Why Kunti Devi started her prayers? Because it was just after Krishna saved Parikshit Maharaj, who was in the womb of his mother. Parikshit Maharaj is the son of Abhimanyu, who is the son of Arjuna. Abhimanyu died in the battle, and his wife was pregnant, and she eventually was supposed to deliver, but while he was in the womb of his mother, Uttara, who is the wife of Abhimanyu, this Ashwathama sent a Brahmastra, which is a guided nuclear missile, just by mantra, without any radar technology, nothing needed. It's a very subtle science. Anyway, so with that, he targeted the Brahmastra just to kill the entire power, nuclear power, just to kill that one person within that womb of Uttara. So Uttara ran to Krishna that his Brahmastra is coming to kill me. And Krishna immediately, while standing, he immediately entered her womb and saved. He nullified the entire Brahmastra and Parikshit Maharaj was saved. So Krishna entered. Actually, he does not need to enter. He is already there. He is already there within the womb. And he was outside also. So antar bahirava alaksham sarva bhutanam, not visible, although inside and outside. Kunti herself was puzzled about whether Sri Krishna is all-pervasive or localized. In fact, he is both. But he reserves the right of not being exposed to persons who are not surrendered souls. This checking curtain is called the Maya energy of the Supreme Lord, and it controls the limited vision of the rebellious soul. It is explained as follows. So this Maya is a curtain that hinders us from seeing Krishna. And why? Because we are rebellious. We are rebellious souls. We have rebelled against Krishna. We are not agreeable to Krishna, to serve him. No, we wanted to be the master in competition with him. And that's our problem. So such rebellious souls can never see. Because the more they see Krishna, the more they become envious, just like Shishupal. The more he was looking at Krishna, the more he looks at Krishna, the more he becomes envious, and the more nonsense he speaks. So Krishna wants to save us from all that offense. Okay, you can't see me anymore, since you do not want to see me. But still, he is so kind that he comes still. He not only comes himself, he sends his acharyas, he leaves behind his instructions like Bhagavad-gītā, Srimad Bhagavatam, for us to take advantage of. You see? So that souls in the future can take advantage and go back to him. So, that's where actually it starts to see. That's how we begin to see the Lord. Through, first of all, his words. So we will go there. We will read more first here, trying to understand this invisibility of the Lord. So this verse we have read when we are reading the purport. Maya javanika channam ajñādhoksha avyayam nalakshase mūḍha drisha nato natyadharo yatha. Being beyond the range of limited sense perception, you are the eternally irreproachable factor covered by the curtain of deluding energy. You are invisible to the foolish observer exactly as an actor dressed as a player is not recognized. So, okay. Purport. In the Bhagavad-gītā, Lord Sri Krishna affirms that less intelligent persons mistake him to be an ordinary man like us, and thus they deride him. Where did Lord Krishna say this? Chapter 9, text 11. Avajananti mam mūḍha manushim tanumashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. So, they think that Krishna is just like an ordinary man, or maybe a little bit great man, that's all. No, it's not a fact. In the Bhagavad-gītā, Lord Sri Krishna affirms that less intelligent persons, means not very intelligent, mistake him to be an ordinary man like us, and thus they deride him. They accuse Krishna of so many things. The same is confirmed herein by Queen Kunti. Correct? The less intelligent persons are those who rebel against the authority of the Lord. In fact, nowadays people think it is smart to be, critical or, skeptical about religious scriptures. I'm a smart guy. I'm not this blind faith kind of guy. I use my intelligence, my power of discretion to decide whether this is correct or not. They think they're too smart. They think they're smart, but actually they're acting too smart. So what? Krishna is, okay, you're so smart, okay. I'll never be visible to you. You will be convinced that I'm not there. Since you wanted to forget me, your intelligence is employed just to forget me, alright, I'll fulfill your desire. You will never be able to remember me. Mattaha smritir jnanam apohanam cha, Krishna says, 15th chapter. From me come knowledge, remembrance and forgetfulness. So forgetfulness also comes from Krishna. So when we want to forget him, he will make us forget. Okay. You ask for it. So he's giving us what we want. But still, it does not satisfy him. So he tries to come again and again. He sends devotees. Okay, they are not, interested in me, I'll send my devotees. Acharyas. They have the power to bring them to me. So he sends his agents, the acharyas. They go and preach about the Lord and then bring back so many souls. And Krishna becomes very happy with them. That's why he says, preacher is very dear to me. One who preaches my message, extremely dear to me, Krishna says. Such persons are known as asuras. Asuras, those who rebel against the authority of the Lord. The asuras cannot recognize the Lord's authority. When the Lord himself appears amongst us as Rama, Narsimha, Varaha, or in his original form as Krishna, he performs many wonderful acts which are humanly impossible. Giridhari. Okay, Krishna, they accuse Krishna of dancing with girls. But then he lifted Govardhan. Why don't they accuse him for that? What about that? That is just some story. But if that is story, then the Raslila, his dancing with girls is not a story. No, that is real, and we have to accuse him. But he lifting Govardhan, that's all story. So what? What is that? Nonsense, right? This is the nonsense. So, the asuras cannot recognize the Lord's authority. When the Lord himself appears amongst us as Rama, Narsimha, Varaha, or in his original form as Krishna, he performs many wonderful acts which are humanly impossible. As we shall find in the 10th canto of this great literature, Lord Sri Krishna exhibited his humanly impossible activities even from the days of his lying on the lap of his mother. He killed the Putana witch, although she smeared her breast with poison just to kill the Lord. The Lord sucked her breast like a natural baby, and he sucked out her very life also. Similarly, he lifted the Govardhan hill, just as a boy picks up a frog's umbrella. A frog's umbrella is what's a frog's umbrella? Mushroom. Frog's umbrella means mushroom. So, just as a boy picks up a mushroom and stood several days continuously just to give protection to the residents of Vrindavan. These are some of the superhuman activities of the Lord described in the authoritative Vedic literatures like the Puranas, Itihasas and Upanishads. He has delivered wonderful instructions in the shape of the Bhagavad-gītā. He has shown marvelous capacities as a hero, as a householder, as a teacher and as a renouncer. He is accepted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead by such authoritative personalities as Vyasa, Devala, Asita, Narada, Madhva, Shankara, Ramanuja, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jiva Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati and all other authorities of the line. Now, just like if we want to prove something in the, if you are writing a thesis, if you are writing a research document, paper, you have to quote sometimes other research papers and documents and academic scholarly literature. You have to quote, oh, this scientist in this experiment or this thing has come to this conclusion, so based on that and based on this, whatever. So we are basically quoting reference. So great professors, great scientists, if they say something, okay, there is some truth to it, although it may not be the case, they can be wrong because they are fallible. But anyway, but Devala, Asita, Vyasa, Narada, these are pure devotees. And pure devotees who have seen the Lord are perfect. They say perfection is not possible. Who said? Those who are imperfect, they are saying perfection is not possible, just to console themselves. No, there is such a thing as perfection. Perfection is definitely possible. And pure devotee is perfect. Absolutely perfect. So let's see, you see, CC, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adilila, 7th chapter, 107. CC Adi. Just give me a second here. 707. You see here, Krishna's words are perfect. Why we should accept Krishna's words? Why we should accept this Avaroha Pantha, descending knowledge that is spoken by Krishna? Why? Brahma Pramad Vipralipsa Karana Pata Vishwarer Vakyanahe Dosha E Saba. The material defects of mistakes, illusions, cheating and sensory inefficiency do not exist in the words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Krishna has no imperfect sensory perception, he has no cheating tendency, he is not, he does not make any mistake. That is God. God means he does not make a mistake. And he is not illusioned. He is perfectly knowledgeable of everything. You see? So, now, that is in the case of the Lord. Okay, fine. Now, interesting thing is, a devotee also has the same thing. How come that is possible? See, Brahma Pramad Vipralipsa Karana Pata Arshavignya Vakya Nahi Dosha Esab. Mistakes, illusions, cheating and defective perception do not occur in the sayings of the authoritative sages. Now, who are authoritative sages? Every sage is authoritative? No. Who are authoritative? It could have just been said sages. No, authoritative sages. Because there are many sages who are not authoritative. Mahajan. See here, Srimad Bhagavatam. There are many great personalities, sages, yes, philosophers and everything. But it's not easy to find a person who actually knows the truth. And Yamaraj is saying something interesting here. Yamaraj, everybody fears him, but actually, Yamaraj is a pure devotee of Krishna. Very pure devotee of Krishna. So, he is saying, Swayambhur Naradah Shambhu Kumarah Kapilo Manuh Prahlado Janako Bhishmo Balir Vayyasakir Vayam Dvadashaite Vijanimo Dharmam Bhagavatam Bhatah Guhyam Vishuddham Durbodham Yam Gyatvam Ashnute. Lord Brahma, Bhagavan Narada, Lord Shiva, the four Kumaras, Lord Kapila, the son of Devahuti, Swayambhuva Manu, Prahlad Maharaj, Janak Maharaj, grandfather Bhishma, Bali Maharaj, Shukadeva Goswami, and I myself, Yamaraj himself, know the real religious principle. These are the authoritative sages. Now you may say, hey, some of them are not sages. Janak Maharaj is a king. No, Rajarshi. He is a Raja, king, but he is also a Rishi, saint. He is a saintly king. Not king. King doesn't always have to be a rascal. Although mostly they become rascals because of intoxication of wealth. But a pure devotee, he can be a king and he can completely unbewildered, like Parikshit Maharaj, Yudhishthir Maharaj, Arjuna. Like Ramchandra Bhagavan, of course, is God himself. Bali Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, they were being kings. But they are Rajarshis. Evam parampara praptam imam Rajarshayo viduhu. Krishna says, I spoke among Rajarshis. And in case of Bhagavad-gītā also, Krishna spoke to Arjuna. He could have spoken to any sannyasi or a rishi or some saintly person, right? who's more religious than seemingly a king, Arjuna, who's, a pounds and shillings man, who's in midst of all royal opulence. How can he be a, proper recipient of such a, grave subject as Bhagavad-gītā? But no, Krishna chose Arjuna. Why? Bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam hetaduttamam. This rahasyam, secret, will be available to you because you are my devotee. I don't care whether what he is, a big sannyasi or what. If he is not a devotee, he cannot understand me, no matter how hard he tries. There are verses for this, we will go there. But you see, here he is saying, these personalities, and I myself included, know the real religious principle. My dear servants, this transcendental religious principle, which is known as Bhagavad Dharma, or surrender unto the Supreme Lord and love for Him, is uncontaminated by the material modes of nature. It is very confidential and difficult for ordinary human beings to understand. But if by chance one fortunately understands it, he is immediately liberated, and thus he returns home back to Godhead. So, these authoritative sages know whatever they say is all perfect. How come? One may ask. How come they are saying perfect and I am saying it's not perfect? What is the difference? Because they repeat the words of Krishna. They repeat the words of the perfect person, God. So, although he is adhokshaja, he cannot be understood by any amount of explanation. Why are we explaining? Why is this class being conducted in the first place? Why are we reading from a book which is full of words? A to Z, or A to Ksha, if the Lord is adhokshaja? Because these words are not creations of ideas of people who are in this three modes of material nature, sattvagun, rajogun, tamogun. They all are defective. A person has to be above the three modes, a direct servant of Krishna, who has no other motive than to just repeat the words of Krishna. Krishna says, surrender to me. The devotee says, surrender to Krishna. That's it. He does not churn out any other meaning out of that. No. So, because he repeats the word of the perfect person, he is also perfect. Whatever he says also is perfect. It's like this. Prabhupada many times gave an example. Like this. This is a microphone. So, microphone, if I tell a child, this is a microphone, and if the child says to others, this is a microphone, he is right. Now, he may not understand what a microphone is and what it does, but when he says this is a microphone, he is right. So, we don't claim to understand everything and anything. No, we don't. But, whatever the Lord says, if we repeat, that is perfect knowledge. We may understand it to our level of realization. But because we are repeating Krishna's words, that's why our way of presenting these classes is that we sit here and the Shastra sits here. The words are all here. So I take zero responsibility. So you can check whether what I am saying is here or not. Shastra. So you can directly check. Right in front. This is transparency. So we have to quote. It's like a postman. Whatever the letter that person sent, the postman delivers. Now, he does not understand what is inside the envelope, but he honestly delivers the message. It does not mean, of course, that the devotee does not know anything and he is just repeating the words of Krishna. No. He realizes. He completely sees the Lord. A very confidential associate of the Lord. That is a guru. That is a criterion for becoming a guru. Not simply anybody with a dadi and some mala on the neck and some saffron color cloth and suddenly he became enlightened soul. No. Enlightenment doesn't come from hair and cloth. Enlightenment comes from devotion to Krishna. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena. So these people, they know him. Authoritative sages, they know. So coming back here, so he is accepted by all these great sages. So how can we deny? All these great sages are what? Foolish people? Just like if we quote a scientist, Albert Einstein said so much. Is Albert Einstein a fool? Is he a fool? No. Well, that's why we quote him, right? He's a genius, he's a breakthrough he did in different scientific fields. So when he is saying something, there must be truth to it, right? So similarly, and even Albert Einstein is defective actually, honestly. But sages like these are way, millions of Albert Einsteins cannot match one of these sages that are mentioned in these words, in these names here. Millions of Albert Einsteins cannot even match one of these personalities mentioned here. That kind of genius these people are. And they are saying Krishna is supreme. Not only Krishna himself claimed, I am supreme. And Arjuna claimed, and all the great sages also claimed. Those who are authoritative, they also, yes, this is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, who are we, with all our defects, to challenge all of that? Because we are challenging, that's why we can't see him. Because he will not succumb to our challenge. No. If we say to the Lord, oh, where are you? I don't think you are there. If you have any guts, come before me and show me. The Lord is not agitated. I have guts to see, here I am. No, you can't bring the Lord in front like that. You have to be submissive. You have to serve Him. Just like if I go to a company, a big MNC, multinational company, and I say, I just joined, gave an interview, went through, okay, employed, now I'm in the office, day 1. I go to the center of the office floor and I say, hey, where is the boss? I want to see him. Big MNC, suppose I'm going to Apple company, just employed. I want to see Tim Cook. Steve Jobs passed away. Tim Cook now present head of the Apple. And if I suddenly say, I want to see Tim Cook, where is he? He cannot come. I don't think he's there. I don't believe he's there. I can challenge. Tim Cook is not going to, oh, here I am. Sorry, sir, here I am. No, he's not going to come. Who's this rascal? Kick him out. I don't want this guy. That's it. So, he is way powerful. I mean, we can't even estimate his power. Who are we to challenge him? So, those who try to challenge, Krishna will make sure that never he will see him. You challenge me? Okay. I will. You say I'm not there? Okay. I will not be there for you. That's it, finish. So, he is not obliged by our challenges. He doesn't care. We have to become submissive. So, people don't like it. Submissive is, that is slave mentality. Yeah, you become slave. Who are you? Master or what? I'm already agreeing to become slave. When I'm walking the dog and the dog is passing stool, I'm picking up the stool of the dog means what? I'm the slave of the dog. Why not be slave of God then? So, such great personalities have accepted. He himself has declared as much in many places of the authentic literatures. And yet, there is a class of men with demoniac mentality who are always reluctant to accept the Lord as the supreme absolute truth. This is partially due to their poor fund of knowledge and partially due to their stubborn obstinacy. Prabhupada in some places said dog obstinacy. Dog obstinacy means when you try to straighten the tail of a dog, it will again curl up. Straighten the tail, again it will curl up. Obstinate, dog obstinacy. So which results from various misdeeds in the past and present. So our misdeeds, sinful activities, because of that, even though we are intelligent, we will not be agreeable to accept the Lord. Whereas even not so intelligent people, if they are fortunate, they will accept the Lord. So such persons who deny the Lord could not recognize Lord Sri Krishna even when he was present before them. Another difficulty is that those who depend more on their imperfect senses cannot realize him as the Supreme Lord. Such persons are like the modern scientists. They want to know everything by their experimental knowledge. But it is not possible to know the Supreme Person by imperfect experimental knowledge. He is described herein as adhokshaja, or beyond the range of experimental knowledge. All our senses are imperfect. We claim to observe everything and anything, but we must admit that we can observe things under certain material conditions only, which are also beyond our control. Like for example, now we are seeing. If the light is switched off, we can't see. If it is too far, we cannot see clearly. Too near, we cannot see. Our own eyelids, we cannot see. Ultraviolet, we cannot see. Infrared, we cannot see. Under very limited conditions, we are able to see only some things, and that too with defect. Something which is far I see as small, which is near I think as big. That's why magicians, they do all kinds of illusions. They take advantage of these defective perception and they play with that. That is magic, basically. So, defective perception. We claim to observe everything and anything, but we must admit that we can observe things under certain material conditions only, which are also beyond our control. The Lord is beyond the observation of sense perception. Queen Kunti accepts this deficiency of the conditioned soul, especially of the woman class who are less intelligent. So among human beings also, women are considered less intelligent than men. Now this is a huge controversy today. Hey, how you can say like this, women and men are equal? Well, they are not equal. Physiologically, mentally, they are not equal. Physiologically, psychologically. That's why we have different bodies. We are capable of doing different things. We are not capable of doing some things. One may be capable of one thing, another is not capable of that thing. So, and intelligence-wise, women are considered less intelligent. This is Krishna is saying. Krishna says, "Mam hi partha vipashritha yepisu papayonaya striyo vaishas tatha shudras tepi yanti param gatam." Women birth is more sinful birth than man's birth. No, that is not to say that we condemn all women now. No. To understand that there is gradation, why there is difference. Now, just for sentimental sake, I may say everybody is equal, but not equal. A man cannot become pregnant, a woman cannot be as strong as a man, So it is, there are so many things. A man can be sexually active, until 80, whatever, until old. A woman cannot. There are many things, And intelligence-wise also, there is similarly gradation. So, especially concerning spiritual activities. But all that doesn't matter. We are not here discriminating against women, no. In fact, Krishna says, anyone, whoever, however downtrodden or whatever they may be, they can come to me. What to speak of women? Ramchandra Bhagavan, he accepted monkeys. What monkeys? Monkeys are more intelligent than women? No. But he accepted monkeys. All monkeys. Gorillas. What is that? This vulture, Jatayu. All kinds of animals used. So, anybody can be dear to him. If we agree to be dear to Krishna, yes. And if a woman gets upset by this statement that woman is less intelligent, these are not our statements. This is not a male chauvinism or something. This Krishna has said, so it is like that. We have to accept it, whether I am a man or woman, whatever Krishna has accepted. This is how the body was created, and that was. But the other thing is that if I get upset, that means I am thinking that I am a woman. But first thing is to understand I am not the body. I am trapped in a body which is sometimes less advantageous or more advantageous, whatever. But actually it's all disadvantages But the only advantage is that in the human form of life we can become Krishna conscious, and that is the greatest strength of the conditioned soul, and that's the loophole how to escape this material world. And that anyone, even a woman or man, anyone can do. Krishna is not denying access to anyone. There's Queen Kunti. She is woman. Gopis are women. Mother Yashoda is woman. All of them are the greatest. Gopi's devotion is the greatest. So, there's no denying of or no rejection of anyone. But this is the fact. Some intelligence, some not. So anyway, Queen Kunti accepts this deficiency of the conditioned soul, especially of the woman class who are less intelligent. In fact, in the next verse she will say that. For less intelligent men, there must be such things as temples, mosques or churches, so that they may begin to recognize the authority of the Lord and hear about Him from authorities in such holy places. No. So temples are necessary because why? For less intelligent people. Why? Why temples are for less intelligent? Oh yeah, I am more intelligent, I won't come to the temple. I know God is everywhere. That means you are less intelligent. If God is everywhere, why He is not in the temple? Except temple, He is everywhere, isn't it? Nonsense. So, the thing is, God is everywhere, but He is not being glorified everywhere. So, in the temple, God is glorified. Or in any place of worship, if it is properly done, God is worshipped there. In the association of other devotees who will encourage us Because alone we can't fight this battle against Maya. We need company. One stick is easy to break. 100 sticks is very difficult to break. So if we stay with devotees, Maya cannot break us. If we are alone, Maya can easily break us. So, we have to keep in association with devotees. For less intelligent, why is there less intelligent men temple? Because they do not have that understanding. Or theoretically, they will say, namesake, they will say that, okay, God is everywhere, but they actually don't see Him. They don't see the God everywhere. They don't. So, for them to begin to understand, meditate on the form, okay, come to temple and also hear about Him. And it's not that if I am advanced, I don't need to go to the temple. See, Prabhupada said, intelligent men only go to the temple, non-intelligent men go to the temple. I am intelligent now, I don't need to go to the temple. That means I am not intelligent. Because an intelligent man will also go to the temple. Why not? Why not? And he will give association to others and help others. Temple is a place where people congregate to worship the Lord. And you can find other devotees who can help you with that. And if I have achieved certain understanding of devotional service, then I can help others who did not achieve, and I can improve myself. You can never completely understand the Lord. And it's not about understanding the Lord, it's serving. If I understand also, I have to serve, I have to keep on serving. That's my position to serve. So anyway, for less intelligent men, this beginning of spiritual life is essential, and only foolish men decry the establishment of such places of worship which are required to raise the standard of spiritual attributes for the mass of people. The character of people will become better if there are places of worship, and in those places of worship the signs of God is explained properly and they are trained properly. There are many now so-called worship places where it is unfortunately not being taught properly. Either not being taught at all, or even if it is, taught improperly. For example, in Singapore there are so many temples. Where is there any katha, Krishna katha? No. It is forgotten. That whole custom is forgotten. Only thing, they sometimes do some Gita part, some Garuda Puran, reading when somebody passes away. That's all. And that is called Smashan Vairagya. That is a crematorium renunciation or realization. Only when somebody passes away, we'll reflect on life, and then next week we are all back on track again, full-fledged material life. So what is the nonsense? Only for Smashan Vairagya. Renounced only in the crematorium of that deceased person while we are attending the funeral. After that, back to normal. Next movie, what is next movie? We'll go and watch. Finish. What did you understand about the gravity of life? Nothing. So, this kind of thing won't help. We are Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya. Not, Gita part when somebody passes away, funeral Bhagavat Sevaya. No, Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya, when we are alive. So, foolish men decry the establishment of such places of worship and which are required to raise the standard of spiritual attributes for the mass of people. For less intelligent persons, bowing down before the authority of the Lord, as generally done in the temples, mosques, or churches, is as beneficial as it is for the advanced devotees to meditate upon Him by active service. So in other words, the more intelligent person or the preacher, second class devotees, they have to travel and preach. The others, they can do deity worship with those who have achieved certain level of Krishna consciousness. They must go and travel and preach. Active meditation upon Him by active service. So in this way one must approach the Lord. Now, you see, here I will take you to this verse, Brahma Samhita 5:33, I think. 34. Panthastu kotishatavat sampragamyo vayorathapi manaso munipungavānam sopyasti yat prapadasiṃ vichintya tattve govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord. Only the tip of the toe of whose lotus feet is approached by the yogis who aspire after the transcendental and betake themselves to pranayam by drilling the respiration. or by the jnanis who try to find out the non-differentiated Brahman by the process of elimination of the mundane extending over thousands of millions of years. So, this English is very difficult to understand. So, I'll simplify it for you. So, what is said here is Panthastu Koti Shatavatsara Sampragamyo Vayorathapi Manaso. So, Vaya and Manasa. Vayu means air, wind, and Manasa means mind. So, wind is very fast. When there is a typhoon, many 100 kilometers an hour. Now, light is faster, you may say. Okay, good. Manasa, mind is even faster than light. Mind is faster than even light. They say there is nothing faster than light. Thought is faster than light. So, Manasa, even if we travel Panthastu, on that path, in the quest for the absolute truth, in the quest for the ultimate truth, if one traverses that path at the speed of wind, light, or even mind for thousands and millions of years, trillions and trillions of years, if one goes, so saha api asti yat prapadasemni avichintya tattve. The form of the Lord is not understood by such people. Forget about the form, the beginning of that form, the feet. So meditation on the Lord actually starts from the feet. First you look at the feet, then go up, legs, thighs, and then the navel, and then abdomen, and then the chest, and then the arms, then the face. In this way one has to meditate, a smiling face. In this way one has to meditate on the Lord. So one cannot even reach the tip of the toe of the Supreme Lord if one goes at the speed of mind for trillions and trillions of years. So that is one meaning. The other meaning is Vayor api manaso. Vayor means this yogic process. So there are jnanis and yogis, and there are bhaktas. Three types of transcendentalists. Though transcendentalist means who is an opposite of materialist. Materialist means who is interested in this material world, either mundane, physical, or even higher, more subtle happinesses he may be after. But all this is mundane. Materialist, he is a materialist. But those who are transcendentalist means they are not interested in the material world, they want to achieve knowledge of the absolute truth. And absolute truth is understood in three phases. Just like sun is understood in 3 to 4 phases. There is the sunlight, then there is the sun planet, then there is sun god. So 3 phases of understanding sun. Some insects, they only understand sunshine. Some, like we understand sunshine, sun globe. We can see the globe from here. Not much we understand about it, but we know it is hot, we know it is far, we know it is full of light. But not much more. Then sun god, if you actually go inside, you will find a huge flourishing kingdom, and there is a president of that planet with unimaginable opulence. So he is sun god. So that we don't even have any idea. So there's 3 different stages of understanding the sun. Similarly, absolute truth is understood in 3 phases. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti shabdate. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti. Brahma means the light, the glaring effulgence of the Lord. Because the Lord's body is so bright that millions of suns put together cannot match the light that comes from the body of Krishna. Yeah, when Krishna came, no light came, everybody was able to see him. Yeah, he did not manifest so that everybody can see him. But when he showed his Vishwarupa, he showed. You see what Arjuna says. Arjuna saw and then he commented on what he saw. Chapter 11, text 12 of Bhagavad-gītā. Divi surya sahasrasya bhaved yugapaduthita yadi bhāha sadrishi sa syad bhāsastasya mahatmanah. If hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at once into the sky, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form. Universal form means that Virat Rupa, Vishwarupa. The brightness of the Lord, millions of suns were to rise at once in the sky, their radiance might resemble, might come somewhere close, maybe. Means actually nowhere close. That bright. So many people they get stuck. The transcendentalists who try to approach the absolute truth get stuck in that Brahma Jyoti level. They cannot understand further aspects of the absolute truth. The further aspect of they are who get stuck there, who get stagnant in that level of realization of transcendental absolute truth. They are called jnanis. So with their mental speculation, they try to understand. That means they try to understand the absolute truth is different from this material, so-called relative world. So in this material world, there is form. We all have form. So absolute truth should not have form. That is their conclusion. Neti. Whatever is here, it should be opposite of that. Here there is form, there should be no form. Here there are words, there should be no words in the absolute truth. Here there is noise, there should be silence. So they negate. They come to a faulty conclusion. And therefore, they come to a conclusion where here there are people, absolute truth is not a person. Here everybody is a person, that means absolute truth is not a person. They come to a very wrong conclusion. So they only understand the light aspect of the Lord, Brahma Jyoti. And the yogis who do all these breathing exercises and control their mind and senses and focus their mind on the Paramatma in the heart, manasamyamya machitto. That means yoga indriya samyama. One must control his senses and think about Krishna. Krishna is saying, you must think about me. Manasamyamya machitto yukta asita matparaha. So dhyanavastita tadgatena manasa pashyantiyam yogina. Yogis, they control their breathing and everything and meditate on the Lord in the heart. So Vayor means Vayorathapi Manaso Munipungavanam. Munipungavanam means greatest. Like very exalted. What is that? Let's see. Now the foremost jnani is. You see, the foremost of the sages, Muni. Manasa Munipungavanam. So Vayu, those who are doing this breathing exercises, the air control, breath control, and then they are focusing their minds on the Lord. So they are the yogis who understand the Paramatma feature, or those who use their mind to speculate on the absolute truth and reach this Brahman platform, Brahman or this Paramatma platform. By jnana and yoga, we cannot understand the Lord even if we go in that path for millions of years. So whether you take it as a speed, or whether you take it as a process of yoga and jnana, this verse explains that we cannot approach the Lord, and that is the meaning of adhokshaja. Atah Hare Kṛṣṇa namādi. It is quoted many times. Okay, Madhya 17.136. This is the thing. Atah Shri Krishna Namadi Nabhave Grahyamindriyahe Sevonmukhe Jihvado Swayameva Spuratyadaha. Therefore, material senses cannot appreciate Krishna's holy name, form, qualities, and pastimes. When a conditioned soul is awakened to Krishna consciousness and renders service by using his tongue to chant the Lord's holy name and taste the remnants of the Lord's food, the tongue is purified and one gradually comes to understand who Krishna really is. So we cannot understand the Lord with our senses, with our mind, with our yogic process or speculative processes. Everything will fall short. Nāhaṁ prakāśaḥ sarvasya. Of all these people, I am not visible. Nāhaṁ prakāśaḥ sarvasya. Yoga-māyā-samāvṛtaḥ. mūḍho nābhijānāti. Because all of them are rascals, fools. mūḍho nābhijānāti. māmebhyah param avyayam. Is that? So, we cannot actually māmebhyah, not māmebhyah. What is that? $725. So today's verse. Loko ajam avyayam. I never manifest to the foolish. And the pure devotee, he is always manifest. So how now to climb to this platform of knowing Krishna? So now we understand why we do not see Krishna. Because we are not qualified. We are still rebellious. We want to enjoy on our own. We don't want to actually satisfy Krishna. So we are here out of rebellion, and the Lord is completely free to do whatever He wants. So we cannot challenge Him. So He is invisible to us. Now, how to come to Him now? So if we want to see the Lord, we have to surrender to His pure devotee. See, Srimad Bhagavatam. रहो गणैतत्तपसा न याति न चेज्यया निर्वपणाद् गृहाद्वा न छन्दसा नैव जलाग्निसूर्यैर् विना महत्पादरजोऽभिषेकम्. My dear King Rahugana, unless one has the opportunity to smear his entire body with the dust of the lotus feet of great devotees, one cannot realize the absolute truth. That means without the dust of the great devotees, one cannot realize. One cannot realize the absolute truth simply by observing celibacy, brahmacharya, strictly following the rules and regulations of householder life, grihastha ashrama, leaving home as a vanaprastha, accepting sannyas, or undergoing severe penances in winter by keeping oneself submerged in water, or surrounding oneself in summer by fire and the scorching heat of the sun. There are many other processes to understand the absolute truth, but the absolute truth is only revealed to one who has attained the mercy of a great devotee. Otherwise, there is no other way. And Prahlad Maharaj, this is spoken by Jada Bharat, but Prahlad Maharaj also says the same thing in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Naisham matistavadurukramaṅghriṃ sprishatyanarthapagamo yadarthah mahiyasam padarajobhishekam nishkinchanānaṁ navrinita yavat. Unless they smear upon their bodies the dust of the lotus feet of a Vaishnava, completely freed from material contamination, persons very much inclined toward materialistic life cannot be attached to the lotus feet of the Lord, who is glorified for His uncommon activities. Only by becoming Krishna conscious and taking shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord in this way can one be freed from material contamination. So we have to get the mercy of a pure devotee. Now you may say, hey, come on, I don't want to go through any, via medium, I want to go directly with Krishna. Why can't I? Okay, you can go directly to Krishna. You can. But then Krishna is saying this to you directly. You want to go directly talk to Krishna, right? Krishna is talking directly in Bhagavad-gītā. So he is saying that directly to you, this thing. Tadvidhe pranipātena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinah. Krishna is saying, just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. He is asking us to go to Guru. Okay, you don't want Guru, you go to Krishna. Okay, Krishna, what he will say? You go to Guru. Okay, now you have to go to Guru. Right? Understood? So now you come to Guru again. So if somebody wants to go to Krishna directly, so Krishna is telling, you go to Guru first. He is telling here. You try to learn truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. Tattvadarshinah. They have seen. And they will explain to you. You want to come to me, you first. Just like they say, if you want to love me, you love my dog first. Similarly, if you want to love Krishna, you have to love Krishna's servant, Krishna's dog. An acharya, a pure devotee, is happily Krishna's dog. Hey, how can you say like that? How can you call acharya dog? Krishna's dog is different from the dog of this material world. Okay, I'll show you. Forget about dog. Bumblebee. How very significant is a bumblebee? Bumblebee only. Okay? In the spiritual world, how significant it is, you see. (3:15, 18). पारावतान्यभृतसारसचक्रवाकदात्यूहहंसशुकतित्तिरिबर्हिणां यः कोलाहलो विरमते चिरमात्रमुच्चैर्भृङ्गाधिपे हरिकथामिव गायमाने. This is what is happening in the spiritual world. When the king of bees, Bhringadhipe, Bhringa Adhipa, Harikatham Ivagayamane. When the king of bees hums in a high pitch, singing the glories of the Lord. You know, a bumblebee. When a bumblebee comes, the black bumblebee, bing, like that it will make sound. Is it very musical? It is very nice, pleasurable to hear? No, it doesn't sound so nice, right? But in the spiritual world, when this bumblebee coming with a sound, there, of course, they glorify the Lord. Here the bumblebee is a fool, but in the spiritual world, bumblebee is not a fool. You see here, when the king of bees hums in the high pitch, singing the glories of the Lord, there is a temporary lull, that means temporary silence, in the noise of the pigeon, the cuckoo, the crane, the chakravaka, the swan, the parrot, the partridge, and the peacock. Such transcendental birds stop their own singing simply to hear the glories of the Lord. Because the bumblebee and the birds, everybody is a devotee there, not like ordinary animals. Even a dog is a devotee there. In the Vaikuntha, everything is there. Whatever is here is there in Vaikuntha, because this world is just nothing but a lopsided, reflection, perverted reflection, that's all. So, everything that is here is there in its original form, original reality. It's like a mango is there here, reality. In the water, if the reflection, there is also mango in the reflection. But that mango is only existing, that reflected mango is only existing because of the real mango. Similarly, whatever is there in this material world, the variety that we see, is a reflection of the original variety of the Lord and His spiritual world. So these birds, like, hey, pigeon and all, what are they doing in the spiritual world? Shukadeva Goswami is a parrot of the spiritual world. Shuka, he is a Shuka, parrot. So, is he a fool? Hey, how can you say he's a parrot? He is an acharya. Hey, he's a parrot. So why can't we say acharya dog, Krishna's dog? Krishna's dog is, very, very high position. So here, what they are saying here, these birds, they sing very beautifully. Cuckoo, how beautifully he sings. Nightingale, all this. But they are saying, they stop their singing. Why? Because they are hearing the bees singing. So what is so special about the bumblebee? Why they should hear him? His voice is not that melodious as these birds. No. The birds know that the bumblebee has way more access to Krishna than us. Because the bumblebee goes to the garland of Krishna, Vaijayanti Mala, and which is on the body of the Lord, and he is going there intoxicated by the honey or the smell of the garland, and he is there very close to the Lord. So he has intimate, confidential information about the Lord. So when he is speaking, we have to hear. These birds, they don't go that close, you see. This bumblebee must be knowing something very confidential. So although externally he looks like, bumblebee not so attractive. No, there is no envy. This bumblebee is shouting, let's shout louder so that nobody hears this nonsense of this bumblebee. That is this material world. Material world, the birds will be like that. In the spiritual world, the birds also know. Hare Kṛṣṇa ivagayaman. You see, the bumblebee is Hare Kṛṣṇa. He is singing the glories of the Lord. But he is singing, he is very high, great devotee. Similarly, even the flowers, so many beautiful flowers, so attractive, so colorful, so nice texture, so nice fragrance. But how they are thinking? In the spiritual world, they are also alive. They are persons. Every flower is a person there. So there they are thinking like this. Mandara kunda kurabot palachampakarna punnaga naga bakulam bhuja parijata gandher chite tulasika bharanena tasya yasmim stapah sumanaso bahumanayanti. You see, all the flowering plants such as the mandara, kunda, kurabaka, utpala, champaka, arna, punnaga, nagakeshara, bakula, lily and parijat are all full of transcendental fragrance. they are still conscious of the austerities performed by Tulsi. For Tulsi is given special preference by the Lord, who garlands himself with Tulsi leaves. Not only garlands himself, his feet is of Tulsi leaves. Tulsi leaves on his feet. Tulsi leaves in whatever he eats. It is covered with Tulsi leaf. Tulsi is so dear to the Lord. So they know the austerities performed by Tulsi. So although Tulsi is only green in color, just like almost like any other leaf, but those for colorful all flowers, they pay respects to Tulsi. They are aware. So they glorify Tulsi. So this is how we have to approach the Lord. We have to appreciate devotees who are serving the Lord first. You see. शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति भीक्ष्णशः स्मरन्ति नन्दन्ति तवेहितं जनाः त एव पश्यन्त्यचिरेण तावकं भवप्रवाहो परमं पदाम्बुजं. Nandanti, what is this Nandanti? Take pleasure. Okay. O Krishna, those who continuously hear, chant and repeat your transcendental activities or take pleasure in others doing so, certainly see your lotus feet, which alone can stop the repetition of birth. So we have to appreciate others performing devotional service. We would appreciate, wow, how nicely he is serving Krishna. Appreciate. So just by doing that, one will become, you see, those who continuously hear, chant, repeat your transcendental activities or take pleasure in others doing so, certainly see your lotus feet. And achirena, very soon. Kalina natidirghena, very soon. What is that? The Bhagavad-gītā 12:7, he says same thing. Nachirat partha, nachirat. Ye tu sarvani karmani mayi sanyasya matparaha ananyenaiva yogena mam dhyayanta upasate tesham aham samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat bhavami nachirat partham maya veshita chetasam. But those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service and always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, O son of Pritha, for them I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. So he is quickly taking us away and back to him. So just by appreciating even others. So we have to appreciate. So that is the beginning. So I cannot say that, I will go directly to Krishna, I don't need any Acharya, Guru, what is this, all the middleman. I don't want middleman business, I want directly. Krishna says, you go Guru. You learn first of all, become humble. Rascal, how many lives nonsense you have done? Suddenly you are coming. You go and learn first of all how to be humble. The reason why you are away is because you are not humble. Become humble first. So he is training. So you have to Ado Guru Ashrayam. Krishna personally took Guru. Sandipani Muni. He did not need a Guru. But he took why? To show example. Ram Chandra Bhagavan took Guru. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took Guru. Accepted as spiritual master. So, this is a very important point. You must go to Guru. And that Guru should be a pure devotee of Krishna. If we are fortunate, Krishna will show us the pure devotee. Guru Krishna Prasad Paya Bhakti Lata Bij. So, the Guru, what does the Guru do now? We have to go to Guru, okay, fine. What to do Guru? Massage his leg and cook for him. Okay, that is good, but what else? Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. You ask questions. Inquire, learn. Inquire confidentially and submissively. Pariprashnena sevaya. Serve him. Then upadekshanti te jnanam. So they will impart unto you knowledge. Now how he will impart this knowledge? He will show the Vedic literature to you. Vedas are there, but without the parampara system, We cannot understand the Vedas. We cannot understand the Vedic literature. Bhagavad-gītā has been existing. Why Bhagavad-gītā as it is so potent and other Bhagavad-gītas are not? Why is this the most popular? Because it is presented authoritatively and there is no ulterior motive in this presentation. Prabhupada simply repeated Krishna's words. So, as it is, without changing the agenda of the Bhagavad-gītā. That is Bhagavad-gītā as it is. So, that is how the pure devotee will impart knowledge. He will show the words of the Shastra. And when we understand the words of the Shastra through the Guru, then our memory of Krishna will start to revive back again and we start to become happy again. So, this is the beginning of seeing Krishna. So, we see Krishna first through the ears. Yes, it comes to a point where we can see Krishna face to face, but that process starts with humility. Humility means I sit down, stop my nonsense speculation. As long as I am speculating, I am rebelling with the Lord. Because whatever the Lord is telling, I am refusing to hear, and I think my intelligence is more powerful, I will speculate and speculate. That is a rebellion, a sign of rebellion. So I have to give up that nonsense. Udapasya namanta eva, jnane prayasam udapasya namanta eva, जीवन्ति सन्मुखरितां भवदीय वार्तां स्थाने स्थिता श्रुतिगतां तनुवान् मनोभिर ये प्रायसो जितोप्यसतैस्त्रिलोक्याम. Brahma is saying, those who, even while remaining situated in their established social positions, throw away the process of speculative knowledge and with their body, words and mind offer all respects to descriptions of your personality and activities, dedicating their lives to these narrations, which are vibrated by you personally and by your pure devotees, certainly conquer your lordship, although you are otherwise unconquerable by anyone within the three worlds. So just by hearing about Krishna from a pure devotee, we can conquer the Lord. We are trying to see the Lord, right? So he is not visible. But now we can conquer the Lord. Like Mother Yashoda, she bound him up. Not only seeing, but bound him up. How? By love. By love and devotion. So, love is prema and bhakti means devotion. Prema and bhakti. So, these two things are very important. Of course, bhakti, culmination of bhakti is prema. So, by ordinary bhakti we cannot. Prema, when it comes to the prema stage of bhakti, yes, then we can capture the Lord. And every morning we sing. What is that? Chakshudan diloje janme janme prabhushe divya gyan hriday prakāśito prema bhakti jaha hoite avidya vinasha jate vedegāya jahara charito. So, the spiritual master gives us knowledge. Chakshudan. He gives us eyes to see. Eyes means knowledge. So, we can see things properly. Then, because of that, we are eternally indebted to him. And with that knowledge, what happens? Prema bhakti jaha hoite. So, we can come to the level of prema, which is the highest stage, love of Godhead. There are many stages, right? In the development of bhakti. Ado shraddha, tato sadhu sangha, bhajana kriya, anartha nivritti, nishtha, ruchi, asakti, bhava, and then finally prema. All these levels we have to, climb in the development of our devotion. The prema bhakti jaha hote avidya vinasha jate. So when we get that love of Godhead, then all ignorance is completely gone. That's why it is said in the Bhagavatam, Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya, Bhagavat Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishthike. What is that? 1 to 18. Just gone away from my memory. This is the result. Matta smritir jnanam apohanam. So when we forget, that is also because of the Lord. Why is Lord making me forget? He has his own reasons. So here, nashta prayeshva bhadreshu. Nashta prayeshu. Prayeshu means almost to nil. Why not nil? You see, by regular attendance in classes and Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. Not completely, almost completely. Why not completely? And loving service under the personality of Godhead, whose praise by transcendental songs is established as an irrevocable fact. So all that is troublesome to the, what is troublesome to the heart? What is troublesome? Avidya, our ignorance, is the thing that is causing us trouble. So avidya vinasha jate. So Prabhupada said this almost completely destroyed means this 75% destroyed, 25% is still there. Prabhupada explained like that in one of the lectures. Nimayata Prabhu showed this in his Madhurya Kadambini video. So 75% destroyed. So 25% why is remaining? Even though we are reading Bhagavatam, it will remain and it will go down. As we advance more and more, it will go down and it will come to total nil when one attains prema. So by the mercy of the spiritual master, by the knowledge which he gives, when we take to it seriously, then it will come to the point of prema. Prema bhakti jaha hote avidya vinasha jate vedagaya jahara charito. So all our ignorance is completely dispelled only when one's relationship, loving relationship with Krishna is again re-established. Until then, there will be some ignorance. See? So, here you can conquer the Lord just by this hearing process. Hearing is so important. And hearing, in what way we should hear. So, I have explained this at length in another class also. We'll just briefly look at this. When we receive, with humbly inquiring from the spiritual master, fine, doing service and surrendering to him, okay, we have received knowledge. Now, what to do with that? Shraddhava labhate jnanam tatparah samyatendriyaha. You see, Shraddhava labhate jnanam. A faithful man, he achieves the knowledge. So, we can, hear from the spiritual master, but if we don't have faith in what we are hearing, we are not attentive, then we cannot understand. We cannot, it does not stay with us. Shraddhava labhate jnana. Whatever we are hearing from Guru, we have to accept it with faith. You may say, I am a scientific person, I don't care about this faith and all. Well, you are a scientific person? Have you measured the distance from earth to sun? With a measuring tape or something? Did not, right? You took some word of whatever textbook, people, scientists wrote something and then textbook, we are accepting that. Did we test? No. Then why are you calling yourself scientist? Don't call yourself. You are also accepting on faith. You have faith in a materialistic, imperfect person, I have faith in God. That's the only difference. So this is how we should reply to those people who say that, this is all faith. What is not faith? You are married, you accepted your wife with what? Chemical analysis. What? Faith that hopefully this relation will last, till death. Hopefully. But that faith is being broken nowadays. Elon Musk, greatest scientist, he is sending spacecrafts to everywhere, all over the universe. He's having so many partners. I think his third wife he is divorced now, something like this. So why scientifically did he not analyze? Okay, this is the perfect person. How on faith only you are accepting? This will go good. It cannot go to good also. Anything can happen. When we are flying to another country, we are buying ticket. On what guarantee? What guarantee? What guarantee is that the flight will land? Flights also get crashed. So how do I know it will land? Faith. Hopefully nothing will happen. So if you are having faith in so many things, then why you don't have faith in God? No, I can't see God. How can I have faith in something I can't see? Hey, at least you can see Guru, no? Book you can see, no? Bhagavad-gītā you can see. So what if I don't see? To see only we are getting to this process. If I say I have not seen the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, I don't believe he is the Prime Minister. His whole media is cooking up a story. I can say whatever his speeches he is giving all some movie. I may say fact. What is fact? What is I cannot say that he is not coming before me. I am not seeing him, so I don't believe him. No, you qualify yourself, then you can see him. If somebody does something nicely and then Padma Shri award or president or prime minister, they will give it, and then you can see all those big persons of the country. You do something valuable first. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said very, very instructively, don't try to see God. Don't try to see God. Act in such a way that God wants to see you. That means what? Oh, I will do in such a way that God will become impressed with me. I will act in such a way that God also will become impressed with me. That is not the meaning, rascal. If anybody thinks like that, he is the number one rascal. The meaning is that I have to be so humble that I should not demand the Lord that please, you show yourself where act in such a way, so humbly, that we attract his attention. Just like husband-wife. A husband, like if Prabhupada gave this example. So a wife, when she marries a woman, when she marries a man, she cannot immediately have a child. She has to have patience. First of all, she has to win over the man, serve him nicely. Then the man will become affectionate, and then eventually they will have relationship, and then eventually after 9 months he will get child. So you can't be impatient. No, your husband, where is the child? Yesterday married, today one child. How is it possible? Some people it's possible because they have sex months before, and then just before birth they may marry. That is a different thing. We're talking about. Anyway, even when you know the person, even if it is without marriage, whatever, illicit sex, whatever it is. So, immediately when you meet a woman meets a man, she cannot have child, no? There has to be some kind of relationship, something. So she has to serve, she has to humbly serve, chaste wife, and then eventually get the child. So similarly, if we want to receive the favor of God, we can't challenge. We have to humbly serve, and once he is satisfied with us, then he will eventually get the prayojan, the love of Godhead. Then we can see him, premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santah sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti. So, shraddhava labhate jnanam. Yasadeva parabhaktir yatha deve tatha gurav. We have to have unflinching faith in Krishna and Guru. And of course, Shastra. Guru Sadhu Shastra. Shraddhava labhate jnanam tatparaha. Tatparaha means very much attached to it. We must be very much attached to that knowledge which we have received from the Guru, which is nothing but Vedic knowledge in its pristine form, without any adulteration. But very much attached to that knowledge. Always thinking about that, thinking about the knowledge and acting in terms of that knowledge, like that, conducting ourselves accordingly. Samyata indriyaha, with our senses controlled. Then only we can understand this thing. With our senses uncontrolled, we cannot understand. We cannot focus also. Let's control our senses. That's why we have no meat eating, no illicit sex, no gambling, no intoxication. All these things, why are there? So that's samyata indriyaha. Then jnanam labdhva param shantim achirenadhi gacchati. A faithful man who is dedicated to transcendental knowledge and who subdues his senses is eligible to achieve such knowledge. So even though we may receive from Guru, if we are not controlled in our senses, if you are not attached to that knowledge, if you don't read every day and you don't take it seriously, that's why, this verse is there, no? In the CC. Madhya. Madhya 2.5. CC. Madhya Leela, chapter 25, text 278. That is a big number. Jai Leela Amrita Vine, Khaya Jadi Anna Pane, Tabe Bhakter Durbala Jivana, Jara Ek Bindu Pane, Utfulita Tanumane, Hase Gaye Koroye Nartana. Men become strong and stout by eating sufficient grains. But the devotee who simply eats ordinary grains but does not taste the transcendental pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna. What is the meaning of tasting transcendental pastimes? Pastimes means Leela. This divine Leela of Krishna, transcendental Leela, if we don't taste, that means if we don't regularly hear about the pastimes of Krishna and his devotees, he becomes weak, gradually becomes weak and falls down from the transcendental position. However, if one drinks but a drop of the nectar of Krishna's pastimes, his body and mind begin to bloom and he begins to laugh, sing and dance. He becomes ecstatic in happiness. Purport, very instructive as well. All the devotees connected with the Krishna consciousness movement must read all the books that have been translated, the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad-gītā and others. Otherwise, after some time they will simply eat, sleep and fall down from their position. Thus they will miss the opportunity to attain an eternal blissful life of transcendental pleasure. They will miss the opportunity. We have to be very attached. This is the meaning of attached. Always read. So in that way, what will happen? Shrutekshita. Then we will start to see the Lord by hearing. Um, 3:9:11. Tvam bhakti yoga paribhavita hritsaroja asse shrutekshita patho nanunatha pumsam yadyadhyata urugaya vibhavayanti tattvapuh pranayase sadanugrahaya. O my Lord, your devotees can see you through the ears by the process of bona fide hearing. Bona fide hearing. They can see the Lord through the ears. That means what? Through the process of bona fide hearing from the right source. And thus their hearts become cleansed and you take your seat there. You are so merciful to your devotees that you manifest yourself in the particular eternal form of the transcendence in which they always think of you. You see? Seeing through the ears, seeing the Lord. Shrutekshita. Shrutekshita patho nanunatha pumsam. You have to see the Lord through hearing. This is how we will see the Lord. And then eventually we will come to the point of seeing the Lord with eyes also. But hearing and seeing, there is no difference. So these are more accessible things. So let us capture those accessible methods. And then eventually the other things also will all become manifest. What to speak of seeing the Lord? One can play with the Lord, one can talk with the Lord. Everything. Pure devotees always do this. Pure devotees, but not everybody. Just today morning only in the Nectar of Devotion we were reading that anybody not qualified, if he is talking with Krishna, this is all rubbish. Everyone has to be pure devotee. Your devotees can see you through the ears. So in this way we start hearing about the Lord. So therefore this is said here 2:8:4. Shrinvatah shraddhaya nityam tat grinatascha swacheshtitam kalena nati dirghena bhagavan vishate hridi. Persons who hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly, every day, and are always taking the matter very seriously, will have the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna manifested in their hearts within a short time. Very seriously we have to take. 3:27-21 I think. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Animitta Nimittena Swadharmena Tivrayamai Bhaktyacha Shruta Sambhrataya Chiram. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, one can get liberation by seriously discharging devotional service unto me and thereby hearing for a long time about me or from me. Hearing for a long time, not the Prabhu, I heard yesterday class was good, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Excellent class. Today what happened? No, that is not. Every day you have to hear. And for a long time. Not that, Prabhu, I heard for 5 years, Prabhu, 5 years. What 5 years we can understand? We are a buddhu, complete buddhu. You see? A buddhu means we cannot understand anything. So, by seriously discharging and devotional service and thereby hearing for a long time about me or from me, by thus executing one's prescribed duties, there will be no reaction and one will be freed from the contamination of matter. So this seriously hearing is very important. All seriously here. 3 verses are there, seriously. See, seriously, this is 23, 327, 23. This is 3721, 22. Actually here, strongly. Tivrena. And here, again, first, this is 320, 27, 21. Seriously. Here also, what is it? Tivraya. 21 is Tivraya. Here, Tivrena. Here, Aharnisham. Aharnisham means every day. Day and night. Aharnisham. So, you see, so we have to be seriously engaging in this. And when one becomes pure devotee, he can see the Lord so uninterruptedly that even if the Lord employs his full power to hide himself, he cannot hide. In front of the devotee, he cannot hide. He will always be exposed. That is the power of devotee. Now, the Lord is, completely invisible to us, but there is a stage of perfection of devotional service where even if the Lord wants to hide and he tries his full strength, the Lord cannot hide. And that is explained in the Stotra Ratna by Yamunacharya, 12th verse of the Stotra Ratna, which is explained, which is quoted in here in the CC Adi 3.89. उल्लंघित त्रिविध सीम समातिशायी संभावनं तव परिव्रढिम स्वभावं माया बलेन भवतापि निगुह्यमानं पश्यन्ति केचिदनिशं त्वदनन्य भावाः. O my Lord, everything within material nature is limited by time, space and thought. Trividha Seema. Atishayi, your characteristics, however, being unequaled and unsurpassed, are always transcendental to such limitations. Limitations of time, space and thought. So the Lord is not, we cannot conceive him, if he has a form of 6 feet, 8 feet high or whatever, he's limited. No, we are calculating it from a material space like that. No, he is not bound by this. So, he is transcendental. You sometimes cover such characteristics by your own energy, but nevertheless, your unalloyed devotees are always able to see you under all circumstances. You can try whatever you want. You will never be able to hide from the pure devotee. This is the thing. Yamunacharya is saying, Krishna, you can try whatever you want. You cannot play hide and seek with the devotees. You can hide, you can try to hide, but they will seek you out. Immediately. Not like after some time. Immediately. So, there is a verse also by Bilumangal Thakur where he says, because Bilumangal Thakur blinded himself so that his eyes won't distract him by the form of a beautiful woman. So after that he became a very great devotee. And Krishna used to personally come and hear him sing his bhajans. And he used to have conversations with Krishna and So at one time, he was so in ecstatic love, he wanted to hold Krishna's hand. Krishna comes in the small boy, like a small boy to him. So he wanted to hold his hand and Krishna, slipped himself away, wiggled himself out and trying to run away. Then Bilumangal Thakur said, you can try all you want, you can try running away from me. But I will appreciate your strength if you are able to run from the core of my heart. I will appreciate your strength. I don't think you are that strong. You cannot run away from the core of my heart. That is how much. Now you may say, hey, that is also challenge, right? How can he challenge Krishna like that? This challenge is out of love. Krishna is not subdued by challenges. He is subdued by love. So Bilumangal Thakur's love he accepted. And Bilumangal Thakur said like that, out of ecstasy. It may resemble ordinary pride, but it's not. So anyway, Krishna does not have, it is not within the power of Krishna to hide from his devotees. Krishna cannot do that. So some things Krishna cannot do. So this is one of them that Krishna cannot do. He cannot hide from his devotees. He cannot break the promise that his devotees give him, that the devotees declare. He cannot break the promise. So there are things that Krishna also cannot do. And that those things are only because of love. He is limited, therefore aham bhakta paradhina. He asvatantram ivadvijan. I have no swatantra. Tantra means control. Swatantra means self-control. That means there is nobody else who is controlling me. Paratantra means control by others. Tantra means control. So, Swatantra means I am my own controller. It means there is nobody controlling me. I am beyond control. I have freedom. Swatantrata. But Paradhina, Krishna is saying, I am Paradhina. He Asvatantra. Ivatvija. I have no independence. I am completely under the control of my devotees. So that's how Krishna operates. So, we have to rise from the platform that we are in now, which is we can't see the Lord, to the platform where we can control the Lord. Not to control the Lord, but a devotee can control. Like Arjuna, he became archer, and then Krishna became his driver. So Arjuna was controlling Krishna. He was telling Krishna, turn right, turn left. And Krishna was riding the horse like that. And that too, telling turn right, turn left, and you can't shout. It's a battlefield. Elephants are trumpeting, horses are shouting, people are dying and shouting war cries, weapons are clashing. Where anybody can hear what you say? No, you cannot hear. So how to tell turn right, turn left, stop, go faster, how to say? So all by the foot. So the charioteer sits at a lower position and the archer is in a higher position so that he can shoot. So with the leg he will touch the shoulder, right shoulder of the charioteer, then he will turn right, left shoulder left, like this. So Arjuna was doing that to Krishna. He was kicking Krishna all the time. 18 days of war, he was doing that. And Krishna took it from Arjuna. You see what is the position, how he is controlled by the devotees. But only out of love. That is explained here. Srimad Bhagavatam. Sarathya parashada sevana sakhya dautya Vīrāsanānugamanasthavana pranāmān Snigdheshu pandushu jagat pranatim ca Vishnor Bhaktim karoti nirpatischaranāravinde. Maharaj Parikshit heard that out of his causeless mercy, Lord Krishna or Vishnu, who is universally obeyed, everybody obeys him, rendered all kinds of service to the malleable sons of Pandu by accepting posts ranging from chariot driver to president to messenger to friend, night watchman, etc., according to the will of the Pandavas, obeying them like a servant and offering obeisances like one younger in years. When he heard this, Maharaj Parikshit became overwhelmed with devotion to the lotus feet of the Lord. When you hear this humility of the Lord, it breaks our heart. So, Parikshit Maharaj felt like that. So, in this way we can see the Lord. So, we should not remain as fools, mūḍho drisha. We have to become intelligent by becoming submissive. If we think we are intelligent by challenging, then we are actually foolish. But if we submit, usually people think, foolish people, they cannot challenge, they have no intelligence to challenge, so therefore they submit. No. When you acknowledge that the Lord is infinitely powerful, you can't challenge. An ant cannot challenge a mountain. There's no way. So, submission is the intelligence. That is actual strength. With that strength, one becomes so strong that one can control the Lord also. Buddhiryasya balam tasya. Abuddhasya kuto balam. So, buddhiryasya balam tasya. Where there is intelligence, and there is strength. And intelligence means Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate. The intelligent person will surrender unto me, because he will understand that I am the end of every quest of knowledge and relationships and everything. So we have to surrender to the Lord. So then, yes, when we have this favorable attitude, yes, we can see the Lord. We can definitely see the Lord. But we can't be impatient about it. And the goal should not be to see the Lord. In fact, when our goal is to see the Lord will not manifest. The goal should be Aslishyava padratam pinashtumam adarshanan marmahatam karotu va yatha tatha va vidadhatulam pato mat prananathastu saeva naparaha. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us that whether you come before me or you don't come before me, Krishna, whether you appear or not, it doesn't matter at all. You are the Lord of my life. Because who am I to dictate terms to? You can do whatever you like. You are the Lord. I am not the Lord. So you can do whatever you like, but you are my Lord nonetheless. It does not depend upon any condition. Oh, you come before me, then I will serve you. If you don't come before me, why? No. You can do whatever you want. There is no condition. For such a person, Krishna will appear. Because you see, 9:465, you see. येदारागार पुत्राप्त प्राणान् वित्तमिमं परं हित्वा मां शरणं याताः कथं तां त्यक्तुमुत्सहे. Since pure devotees give up their homes, wives, children, relatives, riches, and even their lives simply to serve me, without any desire for material improvement in this life or in the next, how can I give up such devotees at any time? So when we come with unconditional love to the Lord shows unconditional love to the devotee. Bhakta Vatsala. Ye yatha mam prapadyanti tams tathaiva bhajamyaham. So, as we surrendered, so he rewards. Alright, so I think I will stop there. It's already 10 o'clock. And if you have any questions, we'll just go through them and we'll wrap up the session. I hope it is helpful. Okay, so I will go through all the comments that you have put in here in the chat. Shawan De Dhruvo, he's saying, Prabhu, I think everyone should know this. This is very important topic. Different kind of people sometimes ask this question. If he is in everywhere, then why we can't see him? Yes. So today we have understood why we can't see him, and we also learned how to see him, how to get qualified to see him. Himanshu is asking, Prabhu, does our soul have form? Because quality wise we are same with super soul. Yeah, soul has form. This body, vasamsa jirnani yatha vihaya. This body is like a dress on the soul. A dress is always stitched according to the measurement of the person, right? So because we have a form, our dress has a form. So a shirt is cut out according to the shape of the person. So similarly, the soul has form, and that's why the material body has form. Of course, the soul can accept many forms. When we had a bird's body, we could accept birds. The difference is this: like a person who's wearing a shirt. If I wear a shirt, it has a different shape. Now I'm wearing this chadar, it has a different shape. Now if I wear a blanket over me, I'll just look like one rock only. I just cover myself and I crouch and then I put one blanket over me. That is also cloth, vasamsi, clothes. It's a different shape. So the soul can, that's why it's accepting so many different types of bodies in this material world. But the soul has form, and that's why there is dress. So, of course we have form. The material body actually has no form. When the soul goes away, what happens to the body? It becomes shaped out. All the shape will go. Whatever shape it had will go. Just because the soul has left. It's like when you take off the dress will have no shape anymore. When we are wearing it, it has all shape. So in fact the dress gets its shape from the person, right? Our body. Similarly, the body gets its shape from the soul. So it is ultimately the soul only which has form. Body has actually no form. It is only a construction on the soul. It's just like water. When you put it in a cup, it takes the shape of the cup. It put in a bottle, it becomes the shape of the bottle. There is one quote of Bruce Lee who said like this in an interview on the TV. When you put water in a cup, it becomes the cup. When you put it in a bottle, it becomes the bottle. He says like that. So it has no shape of its own. So similarly, our material body is made up of these elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. They don't have particular shapes, but they acquire shape according to not only the soul, but also the three modes, the condition. So there are two things. The soul has a form, yes, but also the conditioning of the three modes under which we are. Depending on that, we will get a body. So there are, just like a shirt can be, depends on my financial capacity. I can buy a normal shirt for $5 here, and maybe a very expensive shirt with all kinds of maybe diamonds studded on it, diamonds sewn into it, and that may cost maybe millions of dollars. Now both are shirts. According to my financial capacity, I will wear the shirt accordingly if I want to show off. So similarly, this currency, just like money is the currency and financial capacity will determine what kind of a dress you can buy. In the matter of this body, it is karma. Karma is the currency. Dharmo vittam nirnam pretya. Vittam means the currency of a person who is leaving this body into next body. His currency, his wealth is the dharma that he has done or the lack of it. Whether he is taking assets or liabilities, depending on how he conducted himself according to dharmic principles in this life. Dharmo vittam nirnam pretya. Pretya means one who is passing away in this world, from this world. Dharmo vittam. He doesn't take anything from this world, right? But he takes something actually. Dharma. And if he did not do any dharma, then that karma he will take. Karma is the liability, and the dharma is the assets. So that is what he takes. That is the currency he takes. So if my dharma is very good, then I will get a much better body. If my dharma is completely, transcendental, like Krishna, the transcendental body to be fit to be associated with Krishna. Otherwise, I will get a heavenly body. If not pious enough to go to Vaikuntha, maybe heaven. But if I do nonsense, then hellish body, animal body or hellish life like this. So in this way, soul has form, definitely. Soul only has form. Sivanandan is asking, do we have Tamil version on the same? Not exactly on the same, but we have Tamil classes, online classes. I think Subala Prabhu is conducting them, and Prahlad Prabhu and Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, we have some devotees who are conducting Tamil classes. So I think we have a PDF actually, which has a schedule of all different languages, classes in different languages. Okay, so Kavya says, yes, we have Bhagavad-gītā as it is in Tamil. You can get from nearby an ISKCON temple, even online too. Okay, Venkatesh, Venugopal Prabhu is saying YouTube live looks more comfortable than Facebook live. Oh, that's good. I hope you had a better experience. I see the attendance was also much higher than Facebook live. Facebook live, I don't know, maybe because it's the first time, maybe, I don't know. But let's see the trend over time. Facebook live, I usually have 15 like that. I saw today 40 almost. Anandi Mataji, gopis were not conditioned souls trapped in women's bodies because of sins. They were great sages previous life who did so much austerities to get association of Supreme Lord. Is it proper to say them as examples? Is it proper to mention them as examples of women? Well, I'm just repeating the words of Shastra. Satsangena hi daiteya yatu dhana mrigaah khagaah gandharvapsaraso naga siddhascharana guhyakaah vidyadhara manusyeshu vaishyah shudrah striyontyajah rajastamah prakritayas tasmin yuge yuge bahavo matpadam praptas tvashtra kayadhavadayah vrishaparva balirbano mayaschatha vibhishanah सुग्रीवो हनुमान वृक्षो गजो गृध्रो वणिक्पथः व्याधः कुब्जा व्रजे गोप्यो yajñapatnyas tatha pare. This is Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 12, texts 3 through 6. Vraje gopyo, gopis of Vrindavan. So here, in every yuga, many living entities entangled in the modes of passion and ignorance gain the association of my devotees. Thus, such living entities as the Daityas, Rakshasas, birds, beasts, Gandharvas, Apsaras, Nagas, Siddhas, Charanas, Guhyakas, Vidyadharas, as well as such lower class human beings as the Vaishyas, Shudras, women and others, were able to achieve my supreme abode. Vritrasura, Prahlad Maharaj and others like them also achieved my abode by association with my devotees, as did personalities such as Vrishaparva, Bali Maharaj, Banasura, Maya, Vibhishan, Sugriva, Hanuman, Jambavan, Gajendra, Jatayu, Tuladhara, Dharmavyada, Kubja, the gopis in Vrindavan and the wives of the Brahmanas who were performing sacrifice. So at least externally they were women, right? So it's not barred. So even Kunti Devi, although she is woman and she is greater than any sannyasi man of the universe, because she is personally aunt of Krishna, but she is, not breaking the etiquette, and she is still considering herself as woman and setting an example for other ordinary women. Tatha paramahamsanam muni namamalatmanam bhakti yoga vidhanartham katham pashyemahi striyah. Striyah means women. This is spoken by 1.8.20 in Srimad Bhagavatam by Kunti Devi, saying to Krishna, you yourself descend to propagate the transcendental science of devotional service unto the hearts of the advanced transcendentalists and mental speculators, who are purified by being able to discriminate between matter and spirit. How then can we women know you perfectly? You are coming for those Paramatma, see, Paramahamsanam, Tatha Paramahamsanam, Muninam, Amalatmanam, 3 classes of people. Bhakti Yoga Vidhanartham. You have come to Bhakti Yoga Vidhan, Dharma Samsthapanarthaya. You have come to re-establish religious principles. That's your mission. So with whom do you leave these religious principles with? With whom do you leave? With Paramahamsanam, Paramahamsas, great elevated devotees, Muninam, great sages, Amalatmanam, pure souls, pure hearted souls. Basically all devotees. All these big elevated souls, Bhakti Yoga Vidhana Artham. Vidhana means the path of devotional service. To instruct them in this path, you take birth in this material world. So you have come for these great exalted souls. Katham pashyemahi striya. How can we women, striya? What can I, how can I know you? Only those great souls can know you. You have, they have access to you. I am a woman, less intelligent woman. How I have access? I don't have. So she is placing herself like that. Although she is the most greatest than any man of this universe. Who can boast of being Krishna's aunt? But she is so humble. And she is not saying, I am a woman, you see, but I am greater than all the sannyasis because you see, I am your aunt. You see, I am better than all the sannyasis. She never said that. Although she was much better. Although Mother Yashoda was better than any yogi. Munipungavanam panthastu koti shatavatsara sampragamyo vayo rathapi manaso. So greatest of sages, exalted sages, Munipungavanam. They are trying to forget capturing, reaching the toenails, the tip of toenails of Krishna. They have no access for trillions of years. Yashoda Maya simply bound him like that. How powerful is she? Woman. Love. It's not about being man or woman. Love. What to speak? All these animals, birds, elephant, Gajendra, all kinds of animals, monkeys, vultures and, bears, all kind of, souls, accepted, birds, everything. So, that's the answer for that. Please, Anandini Mataji, please say verse numbers which can be explained to beginners about Hare Kṛṣṇa mantra. Well, that's not the scope of this lecture, so I wouldn't want to make this lengthy by going out of topic. Maybe some other day. Then even if start devotional service in this life may take so many births to see him, it may take many births, depending on how seriously we take to the process. It can happen. Krishna Prabhupada said, 1 second is enough. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam saranam vraja. Aham tvam sarvapapebhyo mokshesham. Immediately, Krishna. You surrender to me fully, you are getting moksha. Immediately. He is ready. He is ready to give. We are not ready to take. That's why it is taking millions of lifetimes. If anybody write and add in the description the important verse numbers which you mentioned, that will be helpful. I leave that to the bhaktas or bhaktins, who are doing all this media work, because I don't have time for this. One of you have to do it. Anandini Mataji. Once Sundar Prabhu said all body soul has same shape. Said in all body soul has same shape of human body. Yeah, actually soul can shape shift. You can become a cowherd boy. You can become a the Gopakumar. He was going to different parts of this thing. And if he is eternally a flower in the spiritual world, he will take the form of a flower. But there they can change, that's the thing. And it's very different. We see very limitedly. I mean, even we actually, honestly, if we see ourselves, our body, we are changing. Every few years, this body is given up and another body is taken. We ourselves are changing so many bodies here. And spiritual world also, we can change bodies. There's nothing is fixed. But one's rasa is fixed, so that's why one wishes to serve in that rasa, in that form. Alright, so Divya Mataji says, Prabhuji, as there is perfection in Krishna consciousness, can we, being neophytes in this Kali Yuga, become perfect? Is it possible, or is it limited to pure devotees like Srila Prabhupada? No. If it was limited to Prabhupada, then we are wasting our time, no? We are endeavoring for perfection, and we have to be greedy for it. We have to be greedy. If we are not greedy, then we lose faith that, this cannot be achieved, only for reserved for Paramahamsas. We can achieve, but we should, as much as we should try our best, we should fully depend on the Lord, and we should not expect it to come. Excellence in devotional service is not to expect excellent reciprocation from the Lord. Just to serve the Lord without demanding any reciprocation from the Lord. That is excellence in devotional service. So, if the Lord does not wish to give me place in Vaikuntha or in Golok Vrindavan, and so be it. But please give me devotional service wherever you choose to place me. That is, pure devotional service. But such a devotee Krishna will take back. So we can definitely achieve in one lifetime. It's just that how serious we are. I'm not saying this because I am damn serious. No, I'm not. Actually, I'm saying this because I want to remind myself also. So much improvement can be done. I'm not saying this, showing off to be humble or it's just honest. I'm just being honest. That, we just have to be very serious. So how serious are we to end everything in this life? And we do not know when this life will end. And by the end of this life, can we end our material existence? How prepared we must be. So with that seriousness, we have to take it up. Always being Krishna conscious. Shravanam Kirtanam. Prashant Singh is saying, I just asked God the same question a few days ago and here it is, Hare Kṛṣṇa. So you see, that proves that God is there. He answered your question. So this is the thing. We should associate with devotees, then we can see God. We will see God. Krishna wants to see us. I showed you that verse, right? That Radhika Mataji the other day she shared with everybody. Krishna is so anxious to see us. He can't wait. We are thinking God is this egoistic person who doesn't show himself nāhaṁ prakāśaḥ sarvasya. But no, he does not show himself because, like Shishupal, Krishna showed himself. What did Shishupal do? He committed more and more offense, and because of that Shishupal suffered only. So he doesn't want us to suffer. So he mercifully hides away. Okay, you don't want to see me? Okay, I will accept. I will not come before you. Fine. I will wait. for the time when you want to see me. And if you don't want to see me, I will wait still. And I'll give you everything in the meantime. I'll give you all resources. The tongue with which you say that I am not there, I don't exist, that tongue also I will give you. Krishna is waiting and he is saying, where is that verse? Asmin asmin nihehaiva. That verse is a very poignant verse. What is that? Poignant. How to pronounce? Poignant. Poignant verse. Ihehaiva. Let's make the text a little bit bigger. You see, Krishna, how he is so eager to see us. We are only not eager to see him. You see, he is saying, 82 will see. Baho nigamitanyanga janmani bhavata sakhe kathanchidapi mayyabhi mukhyam kinchidakarina. My dear friend, Krishna is saying to the soul who just returned to the spiritual world, to Vaikuntha, after perfecting his life, Gopakumar, he entered the spiritual world and the Lord said this to him when he entered this Vaikuntha. My dear friend, you have passed many lifetimes without paying any attention to me at all. Asmin nihehaiva bhave bhave madunmukha ityashaya tava atyantam nartitosmi sadagnavat. You have not paying any attention to me, and even though you are not paying any attention, I was as Paramatma, I was with you all the time. And for so long, hope had me dancing like a fool, thinking perhaps in this lifetime, or this lifetime, he will finally turn his face towards me. Krishna is thinking, this lifetime he is going to come back to me, he's going to come back. Why is he so excited? Are we so attractive that he has to be excited at our presence? We are rascals. Completely far away from him, we relinquished him and came in, nothing attractive about us. And why is he so anxious to see us? Every life he is thinking, maybe this life he will come, this life he will come. When we become tree, he is hoping one devotee will come and pluck the fruit from the tree and offer to Krishna, and then in that way he will jump this whole evolutionary cycle and then come to human life, or even directly go back to the Lord. He is just waiting, and he is sending these pure devotees. Please touch these conditioned souls somewhere or other with your preaching. Somewhere or other, touch these souls so that they can become purified. So he is sending. He is way too anxious to see us. You see, he said, like a fool I have been dancing every life of yours, waiting that, this life you will come, this life you will come. Krishna considered himself a fool to have hope in us. That's how hopeless we became. That much he is anxious to see us. Then why did he say nāhaṁ prakāśaḥ sarvasya? It looks like an egoistic statement. I don't manifest myself to the foolish and unintelligent. It's not coming from ego. It's not coming from a place of ego or some pride, some condescending mentality. No, it is coming from this utmost mercy. If you don't want to see him, then he doesn't disturb us. Okay, fine. You don't want to see me, fine. I just want you to be happy. That's how Krishna is. And he is indirectly giving Vedic instructions. Okay, you do karma kanda, go to heavenly planets, and in that there will be Vishnu worship. Slowly, somehow or other, he is just tricking us into worshipping him. He is doing everything in his system. And you see what he says next verse. Chalam chanalabhe kinchid yenadyam paripalayan nirbandham swakritam bhratar anayamyatmanah padam. But I could find no pretext on which to bring you to my abode, dear brother, and still follow the timeless laws that I myself have created. If I follow all the rules that I laid down in the Vedas, you will have no chance of coming, but instead of throwing the fault at him, or you are so worthless that you can't follow anything, he is saying in a very humble way, I could find no pretext on which to bring you to my abode. I wanted to bring you, but I could not tell what reason I should say to bring you here, because everything you were against. I could not even find one thing good, one thing saying that okay, if anybody challenges me, okay, this is Because of this I brought him. You see, there was not one such thing I could say. I could find no pretext on which to bring you to my abode. You were so hopeless, in other words. But he's saying in a way that I feel so hopeless that I can't bring you. I'm so sorry. Krishna, Tatte maya kripam vikshya vyagro nugraha kataraha anadim setum ullanghya tvajjanmedam akarayam. You see how Krishna is saying to the devotee, you showed me no mercy, and as I considered this, I grew impatient, full of anxiety to receive your favor. What favor we can give to the Lord? So I transgressed my eternal code of conduct and arranged for you to take your current birth. Okay, you take birth in Govardhan Hill. Actually, you took birth in Govardhan Hill, and like that he became Krishna personally became his guru. He took birth as Jayanta. That will explain in the next verse. You see here, he says, "Dear boy, in that divine district of Govardhan, my most beloved abode, I myself became your guru, known by the name Jayanta." Somehow or other, or in other words, Krishna sends his guru, who is a representation of himself. Somehow or other, okay, these people, like in America, they are all drug addicts, womanizers, hopeless case. Forget it. Millions of lifetimes they're not going to see Krishna. Okay, there is no way these people have any hope. I'll send my devotee. Prabhupada, Krishna said, okay, you go. You go, and somehow I want them back. Prabhupada went, chanted Hare Kṛṣṇa, came back. They all came back to him. So that's how, he breaks his own. They have no qualification, but when a pure devotee goes, he makes them qualified. Oh, sorry. Then he says further, Kāmam dirghatamam medya chiratvam samapurayah svasamepi sukham pushnan atraiva nivasasthiraha. You see how still so humble. Today you have at last fulfilled the desire I have harbored for so long. Please nourish your happiness and mine by staying here forever. Don't ever leave this place again, please. He is asking, you have come back to Vaikuntha, don't leave this place, please. Make me happy. Now I am happy to see you. He is happy for this boy who has come back to Vaikuntha. What about the trillions of other souls who are still in this material world? He is still asmin nihehaiva, in this life he will come dancing. Krishna is still dancing, hoping. Yeah, he is coming back. We are rascals, not wanting to see God, and we are challenging why God does not want to see. Where is God? This is our foolishness. You see, commentary, here the Lord says in all humility, what good have I ever done for you? But you have done the greatest good for me by coming here. You see, the Lord hopes that Gopakumar will forget the discontentment that has impelled him to wander from one place to another and will instead choose to remain in Vaikuntha. So Gopakumar, that now the devotee said, maddened by drinking the beverage of the Supreme Lord's words, so intoxicating, I was unable to offer him praise or to understand or do anything. His mind was blown by what Krishna was saying. He felt so embarrassed and he felt so ecstatic at the same time. Everything, all conflicting emotions. He was stunned basically. So that's how much Krishna loves us. But we have no zero love. So we have no right to ask why God is not visible. That means we have no. Only person who asks like this is a shameless idiot. If you really understand how much Krishna loves us. Okay, so next. Divya Mataji. Krishna never breaks his devotees' promises, but if devotees say one thing outside to superficially threaten non-devotees while they misbehave and keep something inside, what exactly Krishna fulfills? See, this promise is right. The devotee has to be of a certain caliber. It's not that any devotee promises anything, Krishna will just fulfill because he is a devotee. Our words have no power. Honestly, just forget it. We can't suddenly think like, oh, now I am a devotee, Krishna will fulfill my desire. Krishna, you do this for me. Go, get lost. Krishna doesn't do. Krishna wants that kind of Krishna. He doesn't tolerate abuse, because that is not love, and with that we will not be happy. Krishna wants us to be happy. He is not a fool to give us this kind of thing. The pure devotee's desires are pure. Krishna will fulfill his desires. And accordingly, as much as one is pure, that much desires will be fulfilled. Pure devotees' words, yes, they have the power. Their promise Krishna keeps. NFT creators, who's this? Prabhuji, I have a question. Still I am not initiated. Does that mean all my devotion has gone to waste? I am worried because I do not want to fall again to this material world. Verse is there like that. Verse is there. Diksha Purascharya. Oh, this is Bengali, right? Diksha Purascharya vidhi apekshana kare jihva sparshe achandala sabare uddhare. So, here in the purport, you see, Vishnu Yamala Adikshitasya Vamoru Kritam Sarvam Nirarthakam Pashu Yonim Avapnoti Diksha Virahito Janaha. Unless one is initiated by a bona fide spiritual master, all his devotional activities are useless. A person who is not properly initiated can descend again into animal species. Now, this initiation means actually hearing is already the beginning of initiation. So, it's not that all is useless. Here it means that if we are doing all kinds of devotional whatever, but we are never connected with the spiritual master, never heard from him, never nothing, that kind of thing is useless. But if we have contacted the bona fide spiritual master, the day we have started hearing from him, it is never useless. But if we are not willing to take the commitment, Krishna will wait. Next life if I want to go, okay. So if I am not in the stage where I am able to say, Karishe Vachanam Tava, I will do whatever you say, and that is. So Diksha is not just that ceremony itself, but the whole process of Shravan Kirtana, of the acceptance of the spiritual master, and of course, in that ceremony is also included. You have to do it. It's also important. So like that, we have to, it's not completely useless, but you have to, it's like a relationship, formalize it. Marriage, just like husband and, man and woman staying together, that is, it's in a relationship, but it's not like a very solid relationship. Formalize the relationship by marriage, and then it's a proper relationship. So similarly, we have to formalize. And Diksha means we have to, if you are saying that you don't want to fall again to this material world, then you have to take Diksha. Why is that? Diksha is not some big step forward. It's a big step, but it's the beginning of a big step, big journey. If you don't start, when are you going to start? So we have to take Diksha and proceed further. Bhakta Subramaniam. Prabhu, despite many chastisements towards self, will still end up thinking materially. So we cannot actually imitate this. We cannot keep on chastising ourselves, and chastisement means, subdue the mind means, to be inspired by the higher values of life. The reason we have materialistic thinking is because we are not hearing about Krishna enough. Actually, I just memorized, my latest memorization of verse is this one. Very nice verse. Very instructive. Many nice words are there. 3:15:23. Yanna vrajantya ghabhido rachananuvada shrinvandiyanya vishaya kukathamatighnihi yastu shruta hata bhagair nirbhiratta saras tamstan kshipantya sarane shutamah suhanta. It is very regrettable that unfortunate people do not discuss the description of the Vaikuntha planets, but engage in topics which are unworthy to hear and which bewilder one's intelligence. Those who give up the topics of Vaikuntha and take to talk of the material world are thrown into the darkest region of ignorance. Now here, if you see the Sanskrit, you will go into a lot of depth here. Now, Yanna Vrajanti Agabhida. Agabhida means of the vanquisher of all kinds of sins, that is Krishna. Rachana, of the creation narrations. So if one is not interested in the narrations of Krishna, then Anya Vishayaha. when he, leaving aside this Krishna conscious topics, anya vishaya, if he gets interested in other topics, shrinvanti, here, then kukatha, such topics are kukatha, bad words, bad topics, detrimental topics, kukatha. And by hearing such kukatha, sukatha means good topics about the Lord. Supatha means the correct path, good path, auspicious path. Kukatha means inauspicious discussions, inauspicious thoughts, inauspicious readings, whatever. What happens with that? Matighnihi. You see, if you see word to word, there is so much treasure to be found. You see, there is bewilder one's intelligence here. Here it is matighnihi, killing the intelligence. It kills our intelligence, transcendental intelligence. Matighni, by this kukatha. Then, yastu shruta. When they hear this, what happens? Hata bhagair, next thing. Intelligence is this thing. Hata bhagair. Bhagair means fortune. Bhaga, bhagya, bhagyavan, bhagavan. So, hata bhagai. Hata means kill again. All auspiciousness is killed. All fortune is, good fortune is killed. Unfortunate we become. And this is the thing. Nirbir attasaras. Our values of life are taken away. Our real value of life is to surrender to Krishna, all that focus on that whole surrender to Krishna and service to Him and all that. It is taken away from that. Attasaras. All our values, we lose our values, we lose our character, everything goes down. When we think materially, we talk materially, we act materially. Thinking, feeling, willing. When I think about it, then I feel about it. Then I talk about it. When I feel about it, then after I talk, then I actually do something about it. Willing, that is willing. Then this way we degenerate. So the reason why we are there is because we are not hearing Krishna enough. So we just have to, don't worry about the mind so much, just hear more and more about Krishna and absorb yourself. Just keep reading every day, 1-2 hours. So Maya will try her best to capture. We also will try. Eventually Krishna will win. So we have to just take and be strong that we convinced that okay, by hearing this regularly, definitely Maya cannot stay. So let me just take shelter of Krishna by reading every day, 1 hour, 2 hours reading, and engage in Krishna service. Attasaras. Tam stan kshipanti are thrown. Asharaneshu. Sharana means shelter. Asharaneshu means those who are devoid of all shelter. Those don't take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord and the topics of the Lord. Tamasu hanta. Tamasu. They are thrown into the darkest part of the material existence. So you see how, if you don't hear about Krishna Katha, what is the solution for the same? So okay, I only explain that. Yes, not sure to be free from materialistic thoughts at time of death. Yeah, we are playing a gamble. Himanshu Prabhu is saying, in 4 lectures you quoted this verse and discussed about this verse, Prabhu, and this is the 5th lecture of Bhagavad-gītā. Shows how much powerful this verse is. It is very, very powerful. I mean, I can't overestimate the value of that verse. Because I keep going back to that, because that shows the mercy of the Lord, right? I mean, Divya Mataji, Prabhuji in 1866 purport mentioned about different types of transcendentalists. One who is attracted to the personal feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Which form is this referring to? Krishna's form of Krishna, yeah. 1865 purport you can read, there it is there. One who is attached by the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Krishna himself is the most perfect transcendentalist. Yeah, I mean, all the forms are the same, but of course Krishna's form is the reservoir of all pleasure, and of course that is the perfect, most perfect, I mean, highest rasa is with Krishna. Beautiful verse 3:15-23. Yeah, it's a very, very beautiful verse. Divya Mataji, yes, Prabhuji, regarding Bhagavad-gītā verses, it has now become our everyday reminders and preaching verses. I recently got a doubt here. Krishna is waiting for us to go back home more than us. Vachikeshwar Prabhu is saying, this is actually from the Mukundamala Stotra, verse 38. The greatest wonder in human society is this: people are so incorrigible that they reject the life-giving nectar of Lord Narayana's names and instead drink poison by speaking everything else. And that's why in the 24th verse also, in the Mukundamala Stotra, it is said, Ma draksham kshina punyan kshanamapi bhavato bhaktihinan padabje ma shrausham shravya bandham tava charitam apasyanyadakhyana jatam ma smarsham madhavatvam api bhuvanapate chetasa pahanuganan ma bhuvam dvatsaparya vyatikara rahito janma janmantarepi. O Madhava, please do not let me even glance at those whose pious credits are so depleted that they have no devotion for your lotus feet. Please do not let me be distracted from listening to the worthy narrations of your pastimes and be interested in other topics. Please, O Lord of the universe, let me pay no attention to those who avoid thinking of you, and let me never be unable to serve you in some menial way birth after birth. आश्चर्यम् एतद्धि मनुष्यलोके सुधां परित्यज्य विषं पिबन्ति नामानि नारायणगोचराणि त्यक्त्वान्यवाचः कुहकाः पठन्ति. Divyamataji. But when Dhruva Maharaj saw Vishnu, then to fulfill his desire, he gave him Dhruvalok. Although Dhruv compared it to broken piece of glass, why didn't he say to Dhruv that I am waiting to see you like Gopakumar? Because actually there is no separation between Krishna and such a devotee. And Krishna gave the opulence because just to show the others that it's not that Krishna only tricks his devotees and does not give anything and makes them beggars only. He wanted to show to them, he wanted to inspire the others. Oh, Krishna actually can give so high a position. Although he did not want to. Wow, Krishna is capable. So at least they get some faith in Krishna because they are interested in wealth. Okay, here is wealth. Sudama Vipra, he did not want anything, but Krishna gave him, although he never asked for it. That is to show, because he knows that such a devotee will never misuse that wealth and he will only glorify the Lord with that wealth, and therefore Lakshmi's blessings are fully on that devotee. Because Lakshmi herself says, 5:18:22, Matpraptaye jesha surasuradayastapyanta ugram tapa indriye dhiyah rite bhavat pada parayanan namam vindantyaham tvadhridaya yatojita. Lakshmi is saying to Narayan, O Supreme Unconquerable Lord, when they become absorbed in thoughts of material enjoyment, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva as well as other demigods and demons undergo severe penances and austerities to receive my benedictions. But I do not favor anyone, however great he may be, unless he is always engaged in the service of your lotus feet. Because I always keep you within my heart, I cannot favor anyone but a devotee. So Lakshmi will favor a devotee like anything. Like Prabhupada had so much wealth in pushing on the movement. So he knows he will push on the movement. Rupa Goswami was sitting, chanting and writing, and then this Maharaj Mansingh came and he built the whole temple. So Krishna will benedict his devotees. Also to Narad Muni in previous birth, why didn't he say the same? Is Vishnu's welcome is different for different living entities? No, because Narad Muni, he wanted Narad Muni to become even more pure. Even Gopakumar also. Gopakumar went one by one, all the planets, heavenly planets, and slowly Vaikuntha, then even there also he went to, finally went to Goloka Vrindavan. Divya Mataji is saying, although YouTube is convenient more than FB, for me it is very difficult to type entire question as it has word limit for each comment. Yeah, and your questions will cover the entire screen if I put. So maybe it's a good thing in one way. If you ask long question, then I'll tell long answer and it will go long. So alright, I think what is this? Oh yeah. Okay, so we have covered everything now. Thank you all very much for participating in this session. So I think we will continue on YouTube then. Hopefully it will be a good experience for everyone. Let me see how my computer is performing. Okay, almost the same as. For me the experience is exactly the same here because I am just seeing in the software, streaming software. For me it's zero difference. It's just the difference will be for you. Alright, so thank you all very much. I'll see you maybe on Saturday with Chaitanya Charitamrita class. जय श्रीमद् Bhagavad-gītā की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंद, हरि हरि बोल, हरे कृष्णा। Oh, some useless fellow has come, gold shine, nonsense, all god goddesses are created by super talented story writers, fairy tales. This kind of rascals also, the fingers with which he typed this thing, Krishna only gave. Now he is writing nonsense. So that's why God does not show himself to this kind of rascals. So that is a practical experience of practical demonstration of a rascal. Today's verse is about rascals, so this is a rascal. Here is a rascal. Alright, thank you. Hare Krishna.